The Monstrous Playbook is an adventure podcast for grown-ups. It contains violence and profanity and deals with adult themes that may be uncomfortable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Monstrous Playbook, a real play Monster of the Week podcast that I take a great deal of pride in setting in the city where I live, only to have all my precious local references lost on the suburban normies I play with. I am truly unappreciated in my time. Anyway, this week it's another installment of Off the Books. We're pleased to be running a mystery courtesy of one Luke Green of Thrythlind Books Games. The players will be running a trio of hunters from 40 years in the past as they try to uncover the truth behind a series of attacks in local dance halls.
I'm John, and I play Mark Clayton.
I'm Lauren, and I play Kira and Anna Ashwood.
I'm Miah, and I play Casey Davis and Theo Nessos.
I'm Jonny, and I play literally everybody else, so here we go. Welcome once again to Off the Books, our sort of one-shot series where we are able to explore different contexts, different characters, and different adventures from the mainline cover story game. This particular installment comes to us from friend and fan of the show, Luke Green, aka Thrythlind, who has written a number of novels, one-shots, adventures, and even some custom playbooks for Monster of the Week and other systems. If you like what you are hearing in this episode, you can find a lot more of his work on DriveThruRPG under Thrythlind Books Games, or you can search his name, Luke Green, to find them. Trust me, the content that I have seen so far that's in the works, it's really good stuff. This week, we are going to be undergoing a mystery called Murder on the Dance Floor. It will be a found footage mystery where our friends and family from the cover story game will happen upon something that happened in the past that might just help them in the future. So one otherwise normal day, Mark and Kira both on the way home from a day's work at your job as journalists at the Daily Tuba, a job we don't often interface with, you arrive home to find in your personal emails an email from your de facto boss, former intern Brad Vickers.
What's it say?
It says, I need you to come in after hours. Meet me in conference room 4 and bring your soldier friend. You know that he's talking about Casey.
Is it common for us to get calls after hours?
No, it is not. It's actually not very common for you to hear from Brad much these days. Mm-hmm. He is, as you'll recall, extremely busy and extremely underpaid.
Okay. Yeah, Kira will, seeing that Mark is CC'd on the email, will be like, do you want to get in touch with Casey? Sends it off to Mark.
And what time did you say this was? It was just late in the evening?
Yeah, you probably got home late. It's like 5:45.
And then, yeah, I think Kira will just be like, I'll head into the office. Do you need me to pick you up? And she'll text that to Mark.
I thought we were done with work today, period.
Well, I'm all about, work-life balance, but this is pretty rare coming from Brad. But I figure we can at least see what's going on.
Okay, ... Yeah, I'll need a ride, period.
All right. Then I think as she gets into the car, she might actually instead call Casey, like from the car. She's got like a hands-free thing. We'll call Casey on the way to pick up Mark.
Hey, Kira, what's up?
Hey, we just got a weird email, Mark and I, from Brad. He wants us to come in after hours. It was very vague in the email, but he also wants us to bring our, quote, soldier friend. I think he means you.
Oh. He knows I have... Okay, where should I meet you?
We're headed to the Daily Tuba's office. It's in conference room 4. I can pick you up if you want. Otherwise, I'll meet you there.
I can meet you there. Just meet me in the lobby.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys arrive. You walk into... I think you usually would take the employee entrance, but knowing you're meeting Casey, you walk in and I think she has arrived before you and is milling about in her sort of textbook trademark uneasy vigilance.
We'll kind of just nod, be like, conference room 4 is this way.
I think, yeah, there is security, but I think they don't even make you sign in because they know you two, and I don't think they care about Casey. She looks like a cop. So you walk into conference room 4, which now that you sort of get there and put it together, you realize this is one of the few conference rooms that has 0 windows in it at all. Mm-hmm. And also one of the conference rooms that is set up with a projector. So you walk in, and the very first thing that you notice is that the surface of the conference room table is strewn with videotapes and various old yellowing notebooks. The second thing that you notice, sitting sort of at the head of it, there is Brad, meek, slight, and far too young for the job he's doing.
I feel like we've never seen him in person.
Not in season 2.
Miss Casey hasn't.
I don't think I have either. It's always been over email or phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like gawky.
Mm-hmm.
Is he taller than Mark?
No, but only just.
Okay.
I think he's an inch or two shorter than you, but definitely you've got like somehow, Mark, you have like 15 pounds on him. He's very thin.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Sort of the remnants of what must have been a childhood of bad skin. Still hasn't quite figured out how to get a good haircut. Mm-hmm. But damn if he isn't dressed well. Mm-hmm. He now has someone making these decisions for him. Mm-hmm. So it's him. And then across from him is this sort of like aging rocker. Like he's got super long hair, but his hairline is about halfway up his scalp. He's just got this mane of hair that flows out behind him. He's got this real worn, dark gray, must be a concert t-shirt or something. It says Loud, Fast, Rules. And he's got a denim vest he must have bought 50 pounds ago, if you know what I mean.
No.
That guy looks up at you and then looks to Brad and goes, "This who you were talking about?" "Yeah, they'll be able to help you."
Have fun circling between those two voices.
Oh my God.
Oh, Brad.
Yeah. Hi, Brad. What's up? This is kind of and she just kind of gestures to the table with all of the things spread out. What's all of this?
Kira, Mark, Agent. He does refer to you, Casey, with a good deal more deference than he refers to Kira and Mark. "Okay, Mr. This is Michael Kennedy."
Nice to meet you, Mr. Kennedy.
"Okay, tell them what you told me."
I think Mark is just standing in the back, just like, why am I here?
"So, you guys hear about that knife fight a couple nights back? The DJ night?" In fact, you did. There was a sort of incident at one of the many, many DJ nights that happen around the city these days. It hit the police blotter. They sort of suspected it was a altercation that sort of got out of hand. No suspects were accused or arrested. Mm-hmm. It's just there was some knife wounds and not a lot of details were taken and not a lot of attention was paid. Just seems like one of those violent things that sort of happens in a city of this size. Everybody thinks it's a fight, but fights don't happen at DJ nights. They happen at rock shows. Thing is, I've seen it before. I know it's back.
What's back?
The Deadly Dancer, man.
The Deadly Dancer?
What?
Is that an official name or is just what you brand? Who's this Deadly Dancer?
How the hell old are you kids? You never heard of the Deadly Dancer?
It hasn't come up on our radar.
Cannot say that I've heard of it.
I know I said you wouldn't be making any rolls, but I do want each and every one of you to roll Investigate a Mystery for me, please.
All right.
Are you talking about like Patrick Swayze or something?
It's a 9 for Kira.
Okay.
8.
No, man, this is real life, not an excellent movie.
9.
I'm into it. Not a single one of you can remember any specifics whatsoever. It does sort of remind you of like maybe an old episode of 2020 or something, or Dateline, or like the kind of thing that you maybe would have seen as a like 20th anniversary of blah, blah, blah on the TV news when you were a kid.
Sure.
So yeah, it was something that kind of people were looking at and thinking about and talking about in like the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
It sounds like this might be a little bit before our time as investigators, but I appreciate anything that you can tell us, Mr. Kennedy.
Well, see, that's kind of the thing. We faced this thing down before, back in the day, but I know it. I don't know if I look it, but I drink a lot. Remember the old steel trap ain't what it used to be. I know we stopped it. Just couldn't figure out how. But that's when I remembered, right? The kid, he was there the whole time, always filming stuff. He was a little fanboy of this place.
What did this guy do?
What, the kid? He filmed everything. Wanted to be a reporter. Big dreams like you guys. I looked him up on Bing the other day. Nothing came up. Must not have come to anything. Poor kid. But everything he filmed, he sent it here. It was like a job interview when they didn't ask him to. Real up-and-comer. Real upstart. Good kid.
And luckily, for reasons that escape logic, we have all of it.
Ah, I see. So that's what this is for.
Mr. Kennedy, you said we? Who is we?
The rest of them.
Can you be a little bit more specific? Names. Who are they?
That's all probably in here someplace.
Casey looks at the table. All right.
It's a bunch of like mostly VHS, but some like smaller sort of what clearly would have been like camcorder tapes.
Mini DV tapes.
Yeah. And then luckily, though, there is a truly gargantuan, like over the shoulder, but still sort of consumer grade video camera that says in masking tape, property of L. Schreiber.
So you don't have the name of these people that you were with? What about the kid? What was his name? What happened to him?
Like I said, I tried to keep tabs on him over the years, but I don't know, faded into obscurity. Maybe he went into, started following the dead or something. That's what I would have done. I mean, if I wasn't into, he points at his shirt, real rock and roll, you know what I mean?
What's on his shirt?
It says loud, fast rules.
Yep.
Okay. I think Kira kind of just exchanges a look with Casey, kind of was like, this guy's not going to be very helpful.
That's what I need you guys for. Mr. Kennedy knows what he's looking for where it all started. You three know what to look for what could be useful. I know our first loyalty is to the truth, but if there really is something unexplainable out there, I know you three are the ones who can put a stop to it.
So all of these recordings and like the journals that are on these, they have like dates and stuff on them, timestamps, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And if we're trying to pinpoint a specific date and time, I'm wondering if we can kind of narrow it down. Does he know when approximately these attacks happened last time? Could we do some research to figure out like the dates and times? Or do we literally just have to go sifting through all of these and hope we find the right one?
He'll kind of like scratch the area of his head where his hair meets his bald forehead and goes, oh, yeah, let's see. Yeah, the second one happened at a Skullfuck show, so it was probably early 80s. Fun fact, a real 1980s Minnesota hardcore band.
It's called Skullfuck. Okay.
Hey, Kira.
Yep.
Casey's gonna step up next to you and whisper into your ear, isn't Brad usually the one that does like the research for you guys, not the other way around?
Mark is going to just go and start looking through the documents on the table.
Brad sort of does everything, Casey, and something tells me that he's a little out of his depth.
So you have your sort of assignment here.
Yep.
That you are to, with Mr. Kennedy, look for what he will remember to be the beginnings of the group that stopped this thing before. And then you will, with your expertise, look for how it is they stopped it. And maybe that can help them now. And then Mr. Vickers will say to you all, well, if you'll excuse me, I have a mid-tier media empire to run. And he will step out of the room.
God, he's a twig of a person.
I know, right? How does he not break his legs in half just stomping around? Especially with a head that heavy. Jesus.
Right?
All right, let's narrow this search down a bit. Kira's going to pull out the archives of newspaper clippings, and she's going to try to, or actually not even newspaper clippings. She's going to, I would assume that they would have some, at this point, they would have probably digitally archived some of these things, and she's going to try to do and search for Skullfuck.
So I'm going to make this easy for you. You are able to narrow it down to a year. You know that this happened in 1982.
Okay.
And so you start looking through what are actually some of the earliest stamped, I guess, entries, submissions. You're not really clear on what these things are or are for. And you're sort of watching through some of these, and the first few of them are basically like lightly narrated, kind of first-person, almost documentary things where whoever the very young person behind the camera will just sort of get some nice shots of and then tell you the history of a specific kind of plant or maybe an indigenous animal or a specific building. And then one of them, there's quite a turn where it's like kind of much more handheld, clumsier, and you can kind of understand why right away, because the camera goes up and you can see a light is shining on a very young man, maybe about 16. Both Mark and Kira recognize him instantly as a very young Kent Clark, your previous editor-in-chief. And he is looking at the person behind the camera. He's like, are we ready? Yeah, okay. And he's holding a lavalier mic as though it's a reporter's handheld. Aww. He's like, good evening, Minneapolis. This is Kenny Schreiber, soon-to-be reporter and future founding member of the Daily Tuba's video division. I'm here in front of Diamond Huey's Discotheque, where recently the camera drops down. Seriously, kid? Discotheque? Just keep recording, Jack. Where recently a violent crime has caused the club to shut down following altercation. Details are scarce, but we know that the multicolored dance floor of this place has been stained red with the blood of violence. Let's get inside and see what we can uncover. And then he starts walking down this sidewalk. He's like, come on. And the camera, you hear a very exasperated sigh behind the camera, and it starts following him. And as he gets closer to this, it's very dark night. And as he gets closer to this huge source of oppressive light, clearly a lit up neon storefront of something, a pair of burly dudes in black polo shirts stop him. And one of them actually kind of steps up as though to get in his face and perhaps do some violence himself. We will enter into the past as the camera is sort of brought down and shoved unceremoniously into the hands of little Kenny Schreiber. And I would like to introduce the three of you who have been hired by rich kid Kenny Schreiber to help him protect him on his very first journalistic outing. First, the one who has been pressed into cameraman duties. I want to talk to Jack Price. And Jack, to be clear, what I'm trying to imply here is you're done being the cameraman. So why don't you tell me a little bit about Jack, what he looks like, what's his deal?
Sure. Jack Price is kind of a, burly guy, just kind of, but casual. He's not
casual
in your
burly.
He's burly, but he's super casual about it. He's not really in your face unless he has to be. Wears flannel, jeans. Probably got a utility jacket or something like that. He's got his camera and everything, and he's ready to go when you need him.
Uh-oh. Miah's thirsting.
And what playbook are you playing for Jack?
And Jack Price is playing the Hardcase.
Okay.
It's very interesting. I have a fire bar.
So as I understand it, looking into this, basically your fire bar becomes a sort of well of points.
It's like holds you can use for certain things.
Yeah, you add to as you sort of suppress your temper.
And there are things that can add to it outside of myself. So if someone gets damaged or something like that's on my team, I get one fire that I can use. Yeah, and just basically builds, and then I can like choose when to flush all of those points to do some badass stuff.
So Jack Price, I'm getting the vibe of sort of former military.
I think you could say that.
How old is Jack?
Jack is probably 42.
All right. And next, I want to know about Dani Clefton.
So I'm going to be playing Danielle or Dani Clefton. She is the spooky playbook. She is an unusual occupation. She is a small gig magician. She is probably about somewhere around 5'5". If you're familiar with Zatanna, she's kind of a little bit of that vibe, except Dani has shorter hair that's like curly. She has more of a olive colored skin. She is wearing fishnet tights, a corset that is white. Her blazer is red and I would say sparkly. And she also has a red bow tie and a top hat.
Is the top hat also red?
I think it's black with a red like band.
That gives me like Ringling Brothers vibes.
Yeah, I'm matching Zatanna with a picture of what's his
P.T.
name?
Barnum.
No. David Copperfield.
Ah, yes, perfect.
But essentially, instead of like black and white like Zatanna, Dani's deal is more red.
Okay, good to know. So you are a magician who does real magic. David Copperfield, eat your heart out.
Yeah, I do it more on the sly, but gotta use what's given to you.
Indeed. Let's meet Veronica Mitchell.
Yeah. Okay, so I am playing as Veronica Mitchell, and her playbook is the Gumshoe. Her whole deal, her code is that the truth must be revealed. True to her code, she will be very honest and direct with you, sometimes too much so. She's very optimistic and energetic. She approaches work with just like a very creative but practical mindset, kind of think like a mechanic or like an engineer. She wants to like take things apart and figure out how they work and then put them back together. And that's kind of how she approaches solving a mystery.
When you say work, is this something you do professionally?
Yeah, I think she's a PI. I think she is a struggling PI. I think people have a tendency not to take her very seriously, but she is very good at what she does.
I want to flash back briefly to the moment when a 16-year-old boy walked into your office and says, "I want you to accompany me on what will become my inaugural outing as a semi-professional reporter and the future founding member of the video division of the Daily Tuba." And you said, "Get the hell out of here, kid." And then he said, "I will pay you $1,700. You said, "I'll be there."
Yeah, no, yep, exactly. So yeah, she's super gung-ho about what she does. She loves doing what she does. She's a bit of a risk taker. She's got blonde short hair. I think that's cut just like a little bit below the chin. Bangs, and then I think she will sometimes wear her hair up in like the teeniest little ponytail with a big fat scrunchie, and has really thick purple glasses, or well, purple framed glasses. It's the 80s, guys.
That's true.
And doesn't care for appearances at all, so she will dress for comfort, not for style. She's 24, if I didn't say so.
Noted. So, the three of you, along with your client, Kenny Schreiber, are walking up to the Diamond Huey's Disco. It's not a great part of town. You are here because Kenny's police scanner, and in fact, a lot of the sort of rumor mill that any of you might be connected to, something happened here tonight. There was a big ton of blood, and everybody just ran out. And before the police, you are still here before the police can set up any kind of a perimeter. And people are just freaking out and running around willy-nilly and talking to everyone who they can find. You see the phone booth across the street. There is a line for people to call and tell each other about it. You have heard about it. Someone was sliced up.
Oof.
And you are walking up to this place, and there are two big bouncers who seem, paid to refuse you entry and specifically perhaps violently interested in making sure this Kenny kid doesn't get in.
Okay.
To the point where I think one of them is like, as he's sort of walking ahead of Jack, who's reluctantly holding the camera, one of them will literally sort of step in front of him and make a wall and like bump the kid with his ample belly.
Rude.
Sorry. Can you tell me what's going on inside, sir? And he holds his teeny tiny lavalier mic to the bouncer, who just looks down at the kid, looks up at him and goes, "Fuck off." What do you do?
Well, that wasn't very nice, sir.
We're going to have a problem here?
Not if you turn right around and get out of here.
But I have to go in. I have to see my dad.
You heard the lady?
I heard that there was something that went wrong. I have to make sure he's okay.
Your dad ain't here, kitten.
Oh, come on.
Go on home.
Sure he is. You haven't seen me around? I was just here the other day.
You even old enough to vote?
And I think she stands up a little straighter. Yes, I am, sir. I have been for 6 years.
What are they paying you, Mac?
Enough.
Yeah, enough.
Looks like they're not paying you very much at all. The two bouncers
Hey, Johnny?
chuckle to each other. Yes, Dani?
Can I roll telepathy?
Sure.
I rolled an 11.
Okay. To do which thing? Telepathy isn't a move you roll. It allows you a way to use one of the other moves. Which move are you trying to do?
What I specifically want to do, because it says in there that I can read people's thoughts and put words in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to put in this bouncer's mind, like, oh, she does look familiar. I did see her the other day, and by her I mean Veronica.
Okay.
I'm also wondering if this Jessica Jones entry would apply here, Johnny.
Oh, I see what you were doing.
So I guess technically it was a manipulate. That's how I rolled it, was manipulate someone. And I got an 11.
Okay. That's clear now. But I do want, I see what you were trying to do, Veronica.
Yeah.
So why don't you roll Jessica Jones entry? Roll plus charm.
6.
Oh,
Starting
boy.
off good.
Help me, help me, help me, help me, help me.
I am prepared to allow that
To be like a
Dani
help out?
roll to have been help out.
Okay.
Veronica, pick 2 from that list.
Let's see. You find something else that's important,
Okay.
and maybe you aren't recognized.
Okay. So they will recognize you as someone who was here before with someone who, maybe they thought was just your much older date, but it might have been your dad. 80s. Jack?
I was just going to say, can I tell if they're packing?
Roll investigative mystery. No, roll read a bad situation.
6.
You are 100% sure that not only do they not have guns, but you could definitely take them in a fight.
Ooh.
Why
Right into kisser. Kenny's going to take over the camera. As you sort of walked in to sort of get into this situation, the camera is now in the kid's hands, and he's like, "Oh, okay, so you got this is what I hired you for. Okay, all right, Kenny, time to be a journalist." And the 4 of you walk in to Diamond Huey's, and he's pointing it at the bouncers as you walk by, and they're like, "Huh." And so yes, you walk in.
Can I use Jinx?
Of course.
Yeah, I'd like to, as we walk by, kind of give the bouncers, sultry, smile and, thanks, boys, and jinx them. Hopefully have them drop something. So that's going to be an 11.
Okay. Hold 2, and you can spend those holds to do 2 things from that list. Interfere with a hunter, help a hunter, interfere with what a monster, minion, or bystander is trying to do, inflict 1 harm due to an accident. You can have them find something you left for them, or they can lose something that you will find.
I know I want to use the latter, the last one. The target loses something that I will soon find.
Okay.
And I want to help a hunter moving forward. Is it possible to give that to Kenny?
No. Technically, Kenny is a bystander.
Okay, I'll give it to Veronica.
All right, Veronica, whatever the next thing you do is, it will be a little bit luckier.
Okay.
Hey, Lauren, weird question for you. Does
Yeah?
Veronica have any nicknames?
I mean, people might call her Ronnie, but I think she hates it.
Perfect.
Okay, so you walk in, and it is like, have you guys ever shut down a bar?
Yes.
The whole place is explicitly designed to be viewed in very dim light. When the lights are on, as it is now, it makes the whole place look very small and silly. There is a multicolored light up dance floor that just looks like the light just feels so tiny in comparison. It just looks like a little toy. Mm-hmm. And troublingly, as some of the lights do go on this dance floor, they are smeared with a good amount of blood.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And that smear goes all the way across the dance floor as the body has been moved off of the light up dance floor so as to potentially minimize damage to its electronics. The body is lying near the bar, almost on a bed of like bar rags, like to try to soak up the blood that's coming out. It's just like chintzy little towels that are all of them just stained this horrible crimson. Running around in here is not that many people. There's probably maybe a dozen folks. There's a couple of bars. There's the main dance floor. There's some cages suspended above and off the ground with little pathways up to them that are empty. And then sort of milling about is bartender types and cigarette girls just running around trying to figure out what the hell to do.
Are there any immediate markings on this body?
You want to go up and take a look at that?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna walk up to that and see if there's anything that I can recognize there based on the bunch of old monster hunting journals that I have.
All right. Why don't you roll? Is that a move?
That is an other item that I have. So it would just be, I think, an investigate a mystery, probably.
I can hang with that. Yeah, why don't you roll investigate a mystery?
8.
Then that will be one question.
What killed this individual?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because as you walk up to this dude, and it is a dude, and he's wearing like a very thin, what was probably a white or perhaps light yellow shirt, but has been completely soaked with this outpouring of his own blood. It's all open, and no one has really bothered to cover up what is clearly the murder wound. And you can see that there are precisely 2 slices, as though by a very dull and jagged blade.
On his chest?
Across his abdomen and up his chest. The thing I want you to know, likely due to your supposed monster hunting, otherwise due to your time in the military, is that these are like very expert slashes. You are aware that the horizontal one would have essentially severed his abdomen, rendering his body's core impossible to use effectively. And the one up, you can even with all of what's going on, because of the light you can see, it went almost exclusively through vital organs. Whoever did this, they didn't waste a move.
Gag me with a spoon. This is awful.
Gag me with a spoon. 80s.
Working on it.
You said there were cigarette girls?
Yep.
Okay. I want to hit those people up.
Okay.
Personally. I don't know what you're going to do, Lauren.
Yeah, can you just relay again who is in here? You said there was cigarette girls. Is there anybody else?
Right now, the people who are sort of milling about trying to figure out what to do are bartenders, of which there are a few, cigarette girls, of which there are maybe 2, and I think there's probably a go-go dancer or 2.
Well, that's lovely, because one of my occult confidential contacts is bartenders, so I would like to hit up the bartenders.
All right, you hit them up for info. I'm going to have you roll to basically figure out how this conversation is going to go.
Yeah.
Why don't you roll investigate a mystery and add an extra 1?
10.
Okay. You will get 2 questions. So you walk up to, I think the bartender that you find is the one who's most stationary, who is literally just like fussing horribly with the same spot on his bar with a rag and just can't get the stain out.
Do I know their name?
Yeah, this dude's been around. His name's Luke.
Okay, I'll go up to Luke. Hey, Luke.
Oh, hey, Veronica. Things going on.
Yeah, did you see what happened?
Kinda.
Can you tell me what you saw? I think she's gonna in her pocket, she will grab like a notebook to start just like jotting down some notes.
I think he's gonna kind of look at your notebook and be like, wait a minute, are you on the job here now?
Private investigator, dude.
You better hope Diamond Huey doesn't find out.
Why? What's up with Diamond Huey?
You think he wants this kind of press? Third wave of disco keeps not happening.
Well, I'm not here to worry about Diamond Huey. I'm here to worry about that person who's dead and make sure nobody else dies.
I think you look over and I'm like poking the body.
Jesus.
So, come on, Luke.
I think Luke is kind of just like coming around to like, yeah, the guy who died in my bar and he's dead and he's not alive and he's bleeding on the floor of my bar.
There.
So, it was a normal night, maybe a little more crowded, maybe a little bit less of a savory clientele than your average Thursday, but people were drinking, spending money, dancing.
Did you see anybody walk in here with a big coat?
No?
Because whoever had this had a pretty big knife on him. These cuts, precise as hell.
Jack, let him tell the story. You were saying?
So I was saying, everything was completely normal. Then, first hint something was wrong was people started slipping around. Disco is a dance of precision. It's sort of an expert thing, and especially everybody's got, the bottom of your shoes smoother the better. I don't know why it makes a difference, but they say it does. People start falling over, start getting up, everyone starts getting pissed off, clothes are getting stained. Finally, someone figures out there's a spreading puddle coming from, well, Mr. Lowercase T over here.
So, nobody saw what happened?
I sure didn't.
Well, could I use, I want to try to use the just one more thing move.
All right.
But didn't you see more? And then can I roll?
Yeah, roll plus charm.
Ooh, double sixes. 13.
Okay. You can spend your hold to ask the questions from that list. One question from Investigate a Mystery. You can ask, was that a lie? Something he left out? Is he complicit with any ongoing criminal activity? Or did he commit a specific crime?
I want to ask, what is something you left out that you didn't want me to notice?
Our Mr. Pincushion, technically, I suppose the legal term is overserved. He was being a little, say handsy.
To one of the dancers here?
To all of the dancers here. Drinks go down, so do the standards, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, well, did anybody, was anybody, like particularly vocal about it?
It's a disco.
All right, let's see. What should I ask also?
You think about that. I want Dani Clefton to go talk up one of these cigarette girls.
So I'm kind of thinking I might actually hit up the go-go dancer.
Okay, even better.
I think that's more of my speed. I do want point of information. When we came inside and saw like the blood and the dead body, Dani would have veered very far away from it, like trying to keep it out of her point of view.
Noted. Roll act under pressure.
Dang it.
Can't just say things like that and expect not to have to roll.
That's a 4.
Why did you want to avoid looking at the blood?
It reminds me of what happened to my parents.
So you go walking over to, you spot leaning against one of the walls, elbow rested on the other arm, hand and knee shaking, is one of these dancers in like a halter dress, big tall boots. You walk up to her and you slip just a little bit in what you did not realize was a stray flow of blood. And like you feel something catch, maybe almost like a gag, maybe almost like a restrained sob, but you swallow it down, you think, and you walk up to this woman and she sees you and she takes a big puff off her cigarette. Her eyebrows go up and she like reaches somehow impossibly into her dress that doesn't seem like it could be containing anything and pulls out a soft pack of cigarettes and offers you one and goes, Jesus, you look how I feel.
Oh, I mean, this sight, and Dani will take one of them. Do you have a lighter? I don't have one on me.
Oh, yeah. Again, She'll reach into her bra and pull out a book of matches and just kind of hold it out to you between her two front fingers.
Thank you.
You knew? I don't think I've seen you dancing before.
Oh, I dance on a different stage. Dani will kind of like tip her hat. Actually, magician. Well, small stage.
Well, she'll point up at one of the cages. They don't get much smaller.
But you've got a great view.
Yeah. She like waves her skirt around. So do they.
Well, speaking of view, it's terrible what happened. Was he a regular or did you see anything? How are the others? And she's going to look over at like the cigarette girls.
You know, disco in this neighborhood in 1982, kind of a matter of time. It's a good gig while it lasts, till something else comes. But as far as Dougie, honestly, matter of time for him too. Real skirt chaser, you know?
I've seen the type.
Somebody here didn't lay the hammer down. His wife probably woulda. Roll investigate a mystery, please.
Okay. Can I use my telepathy to investigate a mystery?
Sure.
So would I be using weird for that?
No.
You roll investigate.
You just are able to do this in a way that you couldn't otherwise.
Investigate a mystery. Okay. 7.
Okay. So here's what I will say. You can ask one question either out loud or pluck out of her mind. You pick.
Can I pick out of her mind, like, what happened?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if I would get, like, an image.
I can give you an image that may or may not help, or you can ask a question out loud that she will essentially be forced to answer honestly.
I feel like I'm just gonna ask or say, you know, I've seen my fair share in showbiz and everything. What did you and the girl see? It's important that we stick together.
That's just it. Nobody saw a thing until Dougie started bleeding out. Whatever happened, it happened quick, it happened quiet. Jack, you are going to notice what's clearly a bit of shattered glass that has a good deal of blood and viscera on it. You have found the murder weapon. And as you do that, you will get a rough tap on your shoulder, and a vaguely familiar voice, I think, will go, "You playing police now, Price?"
Who wants to know? And turn around.
Almost exactly as tall as you, looking you straight in your eyes, but with a good 50 pounds of pure heft. Not necessarily muscle, definitely balding, definitely combed over, definitely shirt unbuttoned down halfway down the chest. And if you think that he doesn't have a gold chain nestled amongst his chest hair, then you need to go back to thinking about school, because he absolutely does. And he has like a shiny purple blazer. The hand that he's poking you with, he also extends out his pinky, which has an obnoxious, enormous diamond stone in a pinky ring. This is Diamond Huey.
Do I know Diamond Huey?
You know of Diamond Huey. You've probably had some run-ins with him or others. He's a nightclub owner. No, specifically, he is a disco owner, and he's been in this business for a long time. This is one of the last discos in all of Minnesota.
Am I supposed to assume you're Diamond Huey? Pleasure.
Good to see you too, kid. What are you doing in my disco?
Trying to figure out what caused all this.
And he'll like very sinister yet good-natured put an arm around your shoulder and start trying to lead you out. Why don't you and I leave that to the professionals, huh?
Speaking of professionals, hi, I'm a private detective, Veronica Mitchell. Nice to meet you.
Detective.
Diamond Huey. Is that a given name? Kind of weird. So I wanted to ask you some questions. I was just speaking to some of your staff, and it sounds like you really don't want any bad press about this.
Speaking of my staff?
Yes, I am talking to your staff.
All right. Don't I have security for this? Don't I pay people?
I think Jack goes up. I think it would pay real well to just go along with this, eh?
Is there something that you don't want me to find here?
Jack, roll manipulate someone.
7.
Supposed to believe you're on my side now, Price. Yeah, why don't we start working together, huh? Why don't we share some information? Hey, what the hell? Why don't we hit the bathroom and do a couple lines of coke, huh?
Well, that's illegal. And I would have to report you.
He's gonna like pull you in and like just short of give you a noogie jack and be like, yeah, Mr. Boy Scout, don't do nothing illegal, do you?
A drink?
We're closed.
Is there a reason that you're so averse to us asking questions, Mr. Huey?
I am trying to run a business here, doll. What put you on this side of the law, kid? Hey. He's gonna wave somebody over and be like, who's talking to Darlene? Darlene, hey. Dani, someone is coming up behind you. The girl you're talking to goes, son of a bitch, and like stamps out her cigarette and puts on her best vision of a pretty face.
Is there any way that I can pretend that I work here?
How would you do that?
Well, given my outfit is not a normal thing that people walk around in now, like with fishnets and, that whole thing. Maybe I'm a dancer. Or a cigarette girl.
I'm going to call that act under pressure.
5.
All right. Hey, what are you doing bothering my... Whoa. Hello. Good evening,
Jesus.
darling. This, I like the silhouette, the zazzle, the pizzazz, the baffow. You ever dance in a cage? I could have you working 5 nights a week, doll.
Bite me.
I might just.
I think Veronica is going to whip out her recorder and switch it to on and march over to this and say, I have it on good authority that you were over-serving tonight. Is that a common practice for you, sir?
I have no comment on that at this moment. I am a legitimate businessman trying to legitimately run a business, and you are interfering with my right as an American businessman, and I will ask you all to vamos. Is that kid recording?
Hey, can I use my other hold to see if that was a lie?
Are you lying?
He is a businessman. He is unrespectable. Mm-hmm. But you can glean from the way he is talking. You might have been able to intuit this just from the way he is. Yeah. But yes, he is glistening with sweat. What I think you can tell and sort of put together between things you know about him is that he's been one bad night away from closing this place for about 3 years. Mm-hmm. He just wants to run a damn disco, but it's 1982. Mm-hmm. So he wants everyone out of here. He wants all this blood cleaned up, and he wants to be able to open up at 3 p.m. tomorrow, just like always, for the afternoon dance crowd.
I have a question. This whole time, has Kenny been just like filming like the
100%?
Okay, I want to make sure he got like good footage of like the body and stuff.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sort of the sort of hand wave that I'm doing with this is that literally all the information that I'm giving you, he will be capturing with the camera to be delivered to the cover story crew. Mm-hmm. And Mike.
So he's trying to get us out of here.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Diamond, I can't say it's been a pleasure.
I can't say come back soon.
Don't worry. With any luck, you'll be closed in a month.
You need a valid ID for that, kid.
I'm 24! She marches out.
It's been a pleasure.
See you around, Jack. And you, he points to Dani, reaches into his coat and flicks out a like gleaming light blue business card. Call me. We pay competitively.
I think Jack steps in and he's like, she won't. Let's go.
Does Jack take the business card or no?
Yes, he does. He like steps in and he's just like, no.
Like takes it and like just drops it. It absorbs the blood bizarrely quickly and like puffs up like a marshmallow.
Oh, yuck.
I'm going to tell you that there will be little else to explore here. And in fact, this is where this part of the tape ends. So the tape picks up again and you can see like it's sort of waving around and then you can see it comes to rest on Kenny's face. And he's very clearly holding the camera in his lap. And he's like, hello, America. This is Kenny Schreiber, aspiring reporter and future founding member of the video division of the Daily Tuba. And we're back on the case. There's been another incident. Something has happened. I heard on my police scanner something has happened at Jay's Longhorn Bar. I have usually not been able to go to this place because my mom won't let me, and also I don't have a valid ID. But this is notable information and freedom of the press, baby. And then he like pulls up the camera to put it to be POV again, and you can see Jack is driving. I think Dani's up front, and Veronica's here in the back seat, and Private investigator Veronica Mitchell, what do we know about what we're going into?
A murder scene.
Wow, that goes back to him. He's like, wow, that's amazing.
Can I say, Jonny?
Mm-hmm.
I think in the front seat, Dani is talking to Jack. Listen, airhead. Last time you stepped in and tried to protect me, but this time, none of that funny business. I can handle myself.
Camera shifts to Jack.
This is good stuff. I think Veronica pulls out like her own camera. What do you have to say for yourself, Jack?
Okay.
Jack Price, do you consider yourself to be a male chauvinist?
Oh, man, what now?
A guy who, the camera.
A guy who thinks that, women are inferior and men have to do everything for them because women are so feeble-minded.
No.
Okay.
We just needed to get out of there.
Okay.
What are we doing?
We're gonna go find a dead body. Hopefully find whatever sliced this thing. Okay, so we know that the last time that this person was killed, that a person was killed, it was very precise. Nobody even saw it happening until they were dancing in the blood. Ew. But there wasn't really any other evidence other than that.
Other than that piece of glass laying on the floor.
Speaking of things that we found, Jonny, did I ever get anything for my jinx?
The body was cut in such a way that would restrict them from moving in certain ways. I've only seen stuff like this in the military or some medical journals.
So maybe like a surgeon or...
Possibly.
Or an assassin or something. Somebody that knows what they're doing.
Stop them from moving in certain ways before or after they died.
They didn't waste any movements. They killed them like that. Like Zorro.
Ew.
Yeah.
But that does raise a good point. Why were they trying to cut it in such a way if they were just going to kill the guy?
I mean, the bartender mentioned that the guy was getting a little handsy. That could be something. Maybe it's like a lust thing. Maybe they want to kill things that are lusty. I don't know.
I mean, according to the go-go dancer, he had it coming. It was going to happen sooner or later.
Well, let's see what we can find out at this other place. Maybe there's a pattern that we can figure out, and then we can solve it.
I think the thing that the bouncer had lost that you will find, Dani, I think the only thing that really makes sense is a folded up $20 bill with a lipstick kiss on it and the faint scent of a delicate and expensive perfume.
All right.
Okay. To Jay's we go.
Okay, so you pull up to Jay's, and the bad news is that the police have, obviously this was your tip to get here, the police have gotten here. So there is a yellow caution tape perimeter just around the front of the place.
How are you planning on getting us in here, kid? Dani's gonna say to Kenny in the backseat.
I'm kind of more the voice of the operation.
What does your voice say?
It's time to find the truth and give it to, I don't know, the back door.
Dani's gonna open the side door and start to get out.
Could we actually look around and see if there are any exits or entrances that aren't being watched that we could slip into?
Why don't you read a bad situation?
I have a plan B, Lauren, that we could potentially do.
So Veronica rolled she rolled 5 and a 6 plus stuff, so 13 and 14, I think.
Okay, so Jay's Longhorn, or known to locals as the Longhorn, is like this sort of, I think in present day, it is probably just a parking garage, but it's like a big, wide kind of storefront with like, your marquee above that tells you tonight, loud, fast rules with special guest Skullfuck. And in fact, those of you watching the tape will notice Mike Kennedy will be like, oh man, check me out. And yeah, with quite a bit more hair, which is quite a bit more feathered, but with a strikingly similar t-shirt and a good deal less in the way of gut, there's a younger Mike Kennedy. Yeah, the other thing you can notice about this guy is that he has a properly flowing bloody nose that he seems unconcerned about. So yeah, you can tell that Mike Kennedy is being probably as cooperative with the police as is legally required and not a step more. Honestly, he might see you, Dani, and like give you a little up nod.
I think she'll give him a wink.
All right. So it would take you quite a bit of time to get around to it because this place is large in footprint and connected to a few of the buildings around it. You would have to effectively go around the block and find an alley and head in that way, which would be once you sort of get up close, that would be an act under pressure roll, especially if all of you are going.
So I have an idea.
Okay.
I could create a distraction and then meet up with you guys.
And how do you propose we do that?
Well, with a little bit of magic. And Dani will like tip her hat and make a little swirl of her hand, and a magic wand will appear in it.
Okay.
So you're one of those kinds of magicians.
What other kind of magician were you thinking?
You know, the kinds that like pull rabbits out of hats.
The fake kind.
Yeah, lies. But you seem like you can do it for real, so that's cool.
A magician never reveals their secret.
Okay, that's lame.
Well, it's the truth, hon.
What exactly are you going to do? You can't just... You really think that the entire police force is going to look away?
If you got a big enough explosion.
Sure. I mean...
Explosion?
Jack, can I borrow your car? And she gives you just a little, like, pouty eyes.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to do some magic.
To it or with it?
Put on a performance.
This better not destroy my warranty. And I think he hands you his keys to his Ford truck.
Dani takes your keys. Well, I can't promise about that. You're not allergic to cats, are you?
What are you doing?
A magician never tells her secrets.
Oh, okay.
That's
we heard
the
that.
lamest line ever.
Dani's going to get in the car. And can I drive to like sort of like the middle front in front of the police officers?
Okay. I think you drive there, and one of them who's maybe interviewing somebody kind of looks at you, looks back to the person, looks back at the car, says to the person, holds up a finger and moves as if to walk towards you.
How many civilians are out here?
Plenty. Within the...
Are there any like journalists in the area? Reporters or anything? Other than Kenny?
Okay, yes. Let me set the scene more completely with those questions in mind. Within the police tape, there's probably half a dozen people and twice as many police. The people all seem to be, dressed like McPunks, rockers, lots of leather jackets, lots of denim with safety pins in, a couple of mohawks. There are a lot more people outside the police tape, also similarly dressed, kind of milling about, pissed that they can't be inside the Longhorn Bar, which is what they're here for. I think there is just one WCCO news van that's just setting up and getting their lights ready.
So as a police officer, I guess, has eyed me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are they coming up to me or?
Yep.
Okay.
Veronica's going to head over to that WCCO news van.
Okay. And Jack?
Same thing.
Do I recognize like who's the journalist? If I could use the Naked City move here, that's one of my contacts.
It sure is. Okay. You recognize him. He is a sort of probably early 30s man with the very slightly shaggy conservative haircut of the day in a gray suit. His name is Tom Hendrick.
Hey, Tom.
Give me a second, guys. Hey, Veronica.
You got any good scoops for me?
You can tune in at 11 like everybody else.
Oh, come on. I know you know something.
What are you trying to do to me?
Do I know Tom too?
You've probably seen him on TV.
Hey, you're that guy from TV.
Always nice to meet a fan.
Yeah.
Roll investigative mystery, Veronica.
8.
Well, I mean, we on the job, or we rubs his thumb and four fingers together? Are we on the job?
Are you asking me for a bribe, Tom?
You can't bribe a reporter. We work for a living.
Tom.
Veronica.
I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed in you.
Well?
I thought that as a journalist, and I think she actually kind of pokes him in the chest, you would respect the truth and want to share it with your listeners.
And I intend to. And you can hear all about it at 11 o'clock like everybody else. All right, we set up? Now, if you'll excuse me, if there's nothing else, rubs his hand together again.
I think Veronica who has not a penny to her name, probably, looks to Jack and is like, Jack, do you have any dollars?
Is he asking for money?
Who said that?
Kenny.
Oh.
I'll give you $50. What do you know?
Did you get this killing somebody? Don't answer that. All right. Ask your question.
I think Jack just like stares at it blankly.
No, that's not a no. What is your question, Veronica?
Well, I mean, what do you know? Are there any suspects? Are there any... What happened here?
Here's what he'll say. Officially, the network's position is this is mosh pit escalation. These kinds of things are violent. We know it. We know it's going to scare some parents. We know it's going to sell some papes. But they don't usually bring knives into mosh pits. And unfortunately, he levels a finger at the long-haired, metalhead-looking guy who's being interviewed by the police out front. That's the chattiest guy out front, and it sounds like he was front row center to 3 of the strangest mosh pit murders this town will ever see. Fair warning, He's on a couple of drugs.
What else is new in this city?
You said it, buddy.
Well, thanks for your time, Tom.
Hey, you paid for it.
Yeah, real disappointment about that. Thought you had more integrity. I'm just gonna walk away.
And I thought you had more cash. And you, points at Jack, Semper Fi.
Oh my god.
And then he heads over and gets into makeup.
Jack just shakes his head and walks away.
I'm not a fucking Marine, you idiot. Dani! There is a police officer sort of stuffing into his front pocket his notebook, and he's like walking up to you and about to do the thing where he bends down to your window.
Oh, Dani got out.
And did what?
Like, she's coming out of her car and, like, meeting him. I do have a question for Jack. What's in your car? Do you have any blankets, towels? What's in your car?
Well, I'm not in character. I'm just telling you.
I have a lot of blankets. I don't know why I sound like Bernie Sanders.
I'm once again asking you to keep me warm.
Put your mittens on.
Make sure you have a blanket for emergency situations.
So he's got a pickup, and in the back, behind the seat, he's got a rack for a shotgun. And then he's got kind of a holstered side pistol, like right on the center console. And then he's got a couple blankets underneath the seat, and probably just like a little survival kit thing in case he gets stuck. And just pretty bare bones. Maybe a CB radio.
Yeah, I think in that case, I think like Dani like pulled up towards like in the front, like parallel or whatever. If there was like a curb.
As though you've parked. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dani gets out of the front seat and then goes to like the passenger seat behind the driver's seat and starts like rummaging around to try and find the blankets.
Ma'am?
She stands back up like holding these blankets. Oh, hello, officer.
You can't park here.
Well, you see, I have a brilliant idea that I could come and ease the stress of this neighborhood. I heard everything that was happening, and I was hoping that I could help.
Yeah, you can help by not parking here.
Well,
what?
You see, and she like kind of gestures to her outfit. I'm a magician, and I know that these people, and like she gestures to the bar goers, came for some entertainment. And I think that it would be quite helpful if I helped you guys provide some. And I want to manipulate him and telepathically put into his mind, like, that would be a good idea.
This is so
tone deaf. It's like they want entertainment. Somebody just died, but they want to be entertained.
You know what these witnesses to a murder at a show by a band called Skullfuck and Loudfast Rules want to see?
a magician.
Guys, I'm trying.
Roll manipulate someone, Dani.
Oh boy, what a wild party the 80s must have been. For our listeners that are older than us, were the 80s really like this?
So I rolled a 9.
You sure did?
I mean, I personally have an idea of what I could do for him right now, but I'll see what you're coming up with.
I want to hear your idea.
Dani's gonna convince him by showing him some close-up magic. But essentially, though, what I was hoping to have happened is, put the thoughts or words in his mind that, like, this would, like, deter attention from, like, the crime scene and maybe ease the crowd a little bit with all these, punks here.
Okay. Well, then here's what he is going to ask you to do.
Okay.
He wants you to take it a block away. Because, look, we're still working here. We're still trying to figure out what's going on. So if you want to get all these people out of here, be my guest. But I can't investigate this crime scene if we have another party out here. Okay? Head it on down. Block and a half up.
Well, let me at least sink the hook.
He'll gesture to the bed of the truck as though it's a stage.
Well, would you mind taking the other end of this? And she's going to hand him the blanket, like end of the blanket.
All right.
Just like walk around to the other side of the bed of the truck and just drape it on top.
All right.
Your professional career has led to this moment.
Yeah. Just a couple of years in the academy, they said. Then you'll have all the authority you want. People will listen to you, they said. All right. I'll be your lovely assistant.
Hey, if it helps, you're the most bitchin' officer I've met. And bat some eyes at him.
Watch your language, hun.
Dani's going to, I think, clap her hands and then with like her wand walk around kind of to the end of the bed of the truck and as loudly as possible clear her throat and, excuse me, poor victims of the latest disco murder.
Disco sucks.
Woo!
Fuck disco. Disco sucks. Disco sucks. Disco sucks.
I mean, that's why you're all here at Skullfuck, am I right?
Woo! I think someone like a muscular, bald young man will climb up onto the truck with you, and his torn tank top will just like, at mentioning Skullfuck, stand up on the truck and throw both of his fists into the air, and everyone will cheer for him.
I think as this is going on, I think Veronica might like kind of sidle up to Jack and be like, are we supposed to like go in now? Is this the distraction, do you think?
I hate you guys
Kenny
so much.
pointing a camera at this. I have no idea what's happening.
I hate you. I hate you.
100% let this play out.
Dani is going to lean towards this fellow. If you're planning on being my assistant, you might want to step down.
But this is the stage, and we're the opening act.
Yeah, but we've got claws, and she's going to wave her wand over the blankets, and mechanically, I am trying to summon a monster into this world.
You sure are. Roll use magic.
This is one hell of a way to bring a monster into a world.
It's magic, kid. I'm using a luck point.
Oh boy. I'm deciding,
Yeah,
because
I rolled
it's a
a 6.
one-shot, you can have 2 of them.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I'm a just and loving god.
All right. Yeah.
Okay? So tell me about this monster.
The monster I essentially want to bring in is just, I would say, like a giant black panther with like a chain collar and like a chain leash. Dani waves her wand over it and then pulls off the blanket. And I think this panther just like roars.
The guy standing next to you on top of the cab like reels back, slips and slams onto the hood of the truck and then just crumples to the street. And everyone erupts into laughter. Of note, Veronica and Jack, they are well and truly distracted.
I think this whole time that they were kind of edging closer to Mr. Kennedy.
What the hell are they doing to my car?
I don't know. But this guy seems like he might know more, and I think Veronica might go over to him and like kind of like nudge him on like his shirt or whatever. Kind of like pull on his shirt. Excuse me, sir.
Oh yeah, hey.
Follow me.
All right.
She's just gonna try to walk in and sneak in.
Jack's gonna follow after, like,
Oh, bitch, and we can go back inside.
Okay. Veronica, roll act under pressure. Jack, roll help out.
Okay, 7.
I am of no help to you. 5.
Okay. Jack, you like are walking in and you just feel a very firm hand on your shoulder being like, up.
What?
Look, I don't know how they did it back in Nam, but this is an active crime scene, okay? Veronica, I think you can get in, but they'll also...
Do I get a fire from that?
He's openly defying you. I would give it to you.
Yeah.
You'll get in, but one of the people with you will be stopped, and it will either be Mike or it will be Kenny.
Kenny.
All right. No, see, I'm a aspiring journalist myself, and you know how the news, we have like TV, but then we also have newspapers, and I think the newspapers are going to need to get into video. Where are you going? Hey, I'm with.
Don't worry.
It's just I have to record. I have to film it because, hey, what do you?
She tries to like gesture to him and she's like, I got it covered, and she like pulls out her own camera.
As he's getting dragged out, I think Jack grabs the camera and just goes, look. As he's getting shuffled out.
All right, so you two are outside. Veronica, you and Mike are inside. Dani, you are putting on a hell of a show with a giant monster panther. Any specifics?
I think that Dani goes to like step down off of the truck, but to the guy who fell, a little help, assistant, and she like holds out her hand.
Roll manipulate someone.
8.
Very pleased. He will like kind of stand up, look you up and down, look out at the crowd, sweep you off your feet and into like wedding day threshold carry. And I honestly think, because I know this guy, give you a big smooch on the cheek before he sets you down on the street.
Well, aren't you a boy toy? I'm going to grab the leash of my panther, who I've decided is named Midnight.
Of course.
And
thought we were going to do this down the street, says the cop.
I'm getting to it. If you want more entertainment where that is from, not just panthers, follow me down the road. Dani is going to bring the panther around, put it into the back seat, close the door. She's going to get in the driver's seat and like drive down.
There is no back seat. It's a pickup.
Damn it. Well, it's going to go in the passenger seat.
All right. It'll crumple itself up and probably shove its head out the window.
I was going to say, that's a big cat for a tiny cab.
We've done this before.
Which I also just realized means that Veronica and Kenny on the way here were riding in the bed of this truck, which is very dangerous, but also very 80s.
I was going to say, very 80s.
So Jack and Kenny are being gently detained. Veronica, you are inside with Mike.
Oh, hey, I'm Mike.
Nice to meet you, Mike. Last name?
No offense, you seem a little square to be here.
You kind of seem like a dick. But I have questions for you.
Point taken.
I hear that you saw everything that happened on that dance floor. Can you tell me, in your words, what did you hear?
2 words. Fucking ninjas.
Ninjas. Can you be more specific? What were they wearing? How many? What size? Male or female?
Wow, you got a lot of questions floating around you.
Let's take it one at a time, sir. Here is some water for you.
You got any vodka?
It is vodka.
Sweet. Smooth.
Ask your questions. Tell me specifically what you want him to tell you.
Yeah, I will. I kind of want him to just kind of relay what he saw. Like, he said they were ninjas. Was it just one? Were there multiple?
All right. So here's what he's going to say.
So first of all, Skullfuck puts on a hell of a show, but honestly, I think they're on the way out. You know, it's infighting. So we'll get out here. We'll crash a bash. We'll do some mosh. We'll, throw some elbows, have a good time. But Loud Fast rules, I will tell you, man, they are one for the books. You mark my words. You're going to be hearing the name Loud Fast Rules on the radio for decades. They're future, man. They're what's coming next.
I'll take your word for it. So, did you hear about the attacks that happened a few weeks ago at the disco at Diamond Huey's?
You mean somebody bled at a fucking disco?
Yeah.
Bet they bled white. Fucking cokeheads.
I have a question for you, Jonny. When we were at the disco, was there any like band performing that night? Was it Skullfuck also, or
big no?
I was gonna say it doesn't really seem like their vibe.
No, at the disco it would have been a DJ, and honestly, probably an unseen DJ.
Okay.
Like they would have just been playing disco, not even music of the day. Obviously, probably songs from like 1974.
Yeah.
So we're in there. Loud Fast Rules. Rocking her shit off, man. We're throwing elbows. We're throwing hands. We're doing the mosh, man.
Right.
And then I feel like a hand behind me grabbed me, and I know that's Dickie, because Dickie's always trying to pull me off of somebody, trying to hold me back. But Dickie's got a hell of a grip, and this wasn't that, man. He's got these rings, and they'll just bite into you. But this wasn't like a bite. This was more like a nibble. Felt like he didn't have any strength in him. You know what I mean? Couldn't have pulled me off of nothing. So I turned around and I'm like, hey, man, why are you being such a pussy right now? And he looks up at me, and he's got blood in his mouth. He's got blood in his chest. He's got blood all over him, man. Slashed up.
Dickie was all slashed up?
Yeah, that one right there.
And he points to someone who is being knelt over by somebody in like a windbreaker that says coroner on the back.
Okay. Did you see Dickie talking to anybody before this? The ninja that cut him up?
Wouldn't have mattered if I did, man. Nobody would have heard him. Loud Fast Rules. It's right there in the name.
But you said it was a ninja. Did you see?
Oh, yeah, totally. And like kind of a poser ninja. It was like little, like impossibly little, like the kid from fucking Indiana Jones, like a little tiny motherfucker. Whipping around, going whoopah, whoopah, all kinds of knives and everything, probably claws. You know, sometimes they have claws. Yeah, this one had like claws.
Claws? What were they wearing anything?
They were wearing like claws, and it was like, I had like Mickey Mouse ears or something. You know Mickey Mouse? It's got the little like ears, but like 3D, you know?
Okay, sure.
It was like not just like a circle, it was like a sphere right up here.
Okay.
But then like half of that, because it was like one of them, half a Mickey Mouse and like a ninja with claws going blood all over the place.
Right. Okay. Now tell me something. Is Dickie a handsy kind of guy? Is he getting a little flirtatious maybe?
I mean, he's got the rings, but you know, he's true to his old lady.
He's got the rings. What does that mean?
He'll grab you to pull you off of somebody in the pit, but you know, sometimes when you're pulling somebody off, you grab a handful of tit, you know what I mean?
Sure.
He's gonna kind of reach out towards your face, I think, and be like,
hello.
Hey, you always have extra eyes.
Nope, just the two. Well, actually, I guess 4 eyes is what they call me. But, you know, I really appreciate your candor. It's been great.
Yeah, I don't think I'm chemically capable of lying right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just how I like people, honest, but not drugged up. So, you know, maybe let me go. Is there anything? So you said there was just like one coroner in here. Is there anybody else in the actual bar?
There are as few people as there possibly can be. I think this place has been more expertly evacuated. There's a coroner. I think there are 2 kind of uniforms, like laying down evidence tags, the little tents, and it's a lot of blood spray and then footprints in the blood. Like it's pretty well tracked through. There are some things like somebody with any kind of degree of expertise in this sort of thing might be able to make some inferences here if you could get them in. But there are some sort of intact blood sprays that if you had some kind of expertise in that sort of thing, you could probably piece together some stuff, maybe.
Perfect. Okay. Just one more thing, Kennedy.
Oh, like the trench coat guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom loves that fucking show.
You saw where he went though, right?
More like roommate, but she's also my mom.
Can I roll just one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
10. So I want to ask a question from Investigative Mystery.
Okay.
Did he see where it went?
Yes. Out the back. It's like flipping and like spinning like a top or something. Or like a dreidel. It's like a dreidel's a kind of top, but like not all tops are dreidels. Isn't that weird how like you got groups and then you got a group and a group and then you got a group that's a group. Oh, now I'm saying group too much and it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Group.
You know what?
Group.
Have some more of that vodka. She kind of like presses up on the cup.
This is weak ass vodka.
Yeah, it's water. I have to go now.
Okay.
I do think she's going to kind of actually maybe kind of try to gesture him to go outside, but she's going to actually walk over towards where the coroner is.
She sure is. Jack, what are you doing?
So anyway, as I was saying, I met that woman in the store that evening, and oh hey, you're back. So anyway, like we're here to help the situation right now. We've already been in there.
Oh, hey man, are you a filmmaker or some shit?
Actually, I'm an aspiring journalist and future founding member of the video.
All right, man. This must be a pretty penny.
It's my father's. You can't. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. This is techno.
He like grabs the video camera away from Kenny.
This is a hell of a thing. You're like pro grade, dude.
Yeah, I just thought it's kind of something that I'm planning on doing.
That's bitchin'. What's your name, kid?
Kenny Schreiber. He's like, Kenny is looking at you, Jack, like, I'm scared of this guy. He's very big and scary, and he has so much hair.
Look, can I help you?
Whoa. Ain't you a tall drink of water?
Should you be drinking water?
He looks down at the cup that is still in his hand, and he goes,
Oh, no, this is vodka. Oh, wait. I think your wife gave me this.
She ain't my wife.
Oh, sorry, daughter.
She ain't my daughter either. Get the fuck out of here.
All right. Now the guy got other places to go. Oh, shit, is that a panther?
Oh my God.
Wait, what? I think Jack is going to go look over at his pickup.
Jack, your pickup truck has a enormous big cat head sticking out of it and is slowly driving down the street with a mob of punkers following after it.
What in the hell?
I think what would spark in your brain, Jack, is one, something's going on with your truck, and that's weird. But the competing impulse is that everyone is looking in that direction, freeing up your movement to the back of this building.
I think Jack shakes his head. All right, Kenny, come with me.
Totally.
Takes the camera back from a basically oblivious Mike.
Okay, Kenny, let's go.
But we got to get the...
Oh, yeah, the other one. The thing from... Yes, okay. The plan. Shh. Let's just go.
Oh my God. Kenny. Damn it, Johnny, you made me like Kent Clark.
Okay, so Jack, you and Kenny go around to the back. Veronica, I'm going to need you to roll Act Under Pressure. Dani, I'm going to need some more information from you of what you are doing to distract everybody. Tell me about the show.
I'm going to go like down the block, park the truck. I will let the panther out and put him back into the bed of the truck. And standing in front of the bed of the truck, like I imagine the tailgate is down. Does anybody have a knife? Preferably a very large knife.
Dozens of switchblades will come out. Mm-hmm. And one dude will reach into a boot and pull out like, not quite a Bowie knife, but like a long dagger.
Sick. I'm going to grab his, kind of like brushing his skin and like flirting non-verbally with him a bit. I'm going to take his knife. Are these mostly guys or is it just a mixed crowd?
It's mixed.
Okay. You know what? Actually, well, yeah. I think the person to like next to him, I'm going to kind of like bend and like kind of flick the knife. This seems pretty real. What do you think? Can you inspect this for me?
I think that dude will like take the knife from you, look at the dude whose knife it is, look at everybody, and like run the blade along his tongue and go, yeah, it's real. Woo!
Dani's gonna take it back. Now I'm gonna need you to inspect one more thing, and she's gonna hold out her hand to him. These real?
He looks back and forth like, am I gonna do it? Am I gonna do it?
Don't do anything your mother wouldn't.
Roll manipulate someone.
5.
Yeah, he's gonna lick your hand. And he's gonna turn around to everybody and go, it's real! And everyone's gonna cheer and laugh.
Thanks. And she's gonna rub her hand like on his shirt.
Everyone will laugh again.
Yeah, she will saunter back to the truck, but she'll from like the side and put her left hand like kind of like leaning on the truck with that hand and like kind of be tapping the knife against the truck and also like accordioning her fingers and then slam the knife onto her hand.
Okay.
And I want to go incorporeal, like my hand go incorporeal.
The whole crowd will gasp and flinch.
Then I'll like wiggle my fingers with the knife still like in it.
So I understand, you've placed a hand on the truck.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You shoved the knife through your hand and into the truck.
More so, not like a stab, but more like a slashing. So like the blade has gone across my hand, like I'm cutting a piece of steak.
Okay, so you are not driving a blade into Jack's truck.
Not really. There's probably gonna be a
Okay, so you
scratch,
just
but
slice.
yes.
You should have just rode with that.
As though you're cutting vegetables.
Yes,
Then you wiggle
very
your hand.
horror-esque. Yeah. And then I will remove the knife from my hand and raise it up and kind of look at it and turn it forwards and back and then look to the crowd and kind of give a bow.
They'll like mystified erupt into applause. And someone I think will put his hand on the truck and go, "Do me!"
Oh my gosh.
Cut to.
I was going to say, she was going to say to him, "Now that's a different show."
Oh, says everybody. Cut to. Jack, Veronica, what did you get on your act under pressure rolls?
7.
6.
We're doing so good, guys.
I love this.
Is there a back door that I need to get into?
Here's what I'm going to say. I think your main situation is that there is a guy posted up at the back door, a uniform with like the, cop jacket, cop hat, looks bored, but, vaguely vigilant. You can spot a place to like duck in and hide and maybe wait for him to go away, or you can keep pressing forward and he'll see you. That's your situation.
Kenny, let's go hide over there.
Okay.
And I think we're gonna try and sneak over there and wait. No, wait until he goes by, and then we go in. Simple as that. Got it?
Yeah, totally. Got it.
Don't drop the camera.
He starts like moving his camera around and looking at stuff. And you get a weird instinct. Roll act under pressure.
9.
Okay. Kenny does a very specific kind of inhale, which is the kind of inhale you do just before you start to scream.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
And you manage to catch him.
I was going to say, I immediately try to catch him.
That's what that roll was. Right after he goes,
Keep it together.
and you can see the guy at the door kind of perks up and looks down your way. And 2, the thing that made him scream, which is a punker with a big glued up mohawk pinned to the side of the building by a large, elegant knife through his mouth. Veronica.
I think she kind of walks over to the coroner who's doing their business. Kind of looks over at the blood splatter. Does she notice any particular peculiarities about it?
I don't think you have any information on this.
All right, then she'll kind of like just cross her arms and be like, yikes. It's pretty bad. You seen something like this before? Oh, I'm with the police. Private investigator, actually.
The coroner kind of looks up from the body and says very loudly, clearly not to you, "Gadela, what is this girl doing in my crime scene?"
As I was saying, I am a private investigator. I'm investigating what's going on.
Roll manipulate someone.
Okay, 7. Here, and she'll actually pull out her private investigator credentials, because you need those. I was actually at a recent crime scene a few weeks ago over at Diamond Huey's. Something very similar happened here. I think there might be some sort of pattern going on where at clubs, nightclubs, some serial killer, something's going out there. But what I can't figure out...
We don't like to toss out the S word unless absolutely necessary.
But what I'm trying to figure out is these people that are killing these individuals on these murder sprees, someone might say serial killings, there is blood splatter everywhere. There is just quick cuts. Somebody who is clearly very precise with what they're doing. You probably see a lot of unfortunate crime scenes. In your experience, and she points at the blood splatter, what went on here?
You know, I'm curious too. You said private investigator, meaning for hire, meaning authorized to do this only when hired. Who hired you?
Well, you know, I like to say that I'm hired by the public. I'm really a civil servant, just like the cops here. But if you must know, I was hired by somebody who's got a lot of cash, and I'm sure would be willing to answer any questions you might have.
You trying to bribe me?
No, because I'm above bribes.
Unlike a certain field reporter
that I know. Look, sir, I don't know your name.
I don't care how much money you have here. This is an active crime scene.
Yeah, I get that. I'm not about the money. I'm about finding out the truth. And this thing, this is horrible. And I want to put a stop to it. And if you could just tell me what you know, what you've observed, it might make this not happen to anybody else. Would you allow me to roll again? Because I'm just realizing that as long as I'm following my code, people will sense the sincerity and you receive +1 ongoing from manipulate someone.
Okay.
Okay. 9.
Look, you seem like a good kid. I can tell that what you're doing is important to you. And I used to have stars in my eyes too, you know. But fighting crime happens after the fact now. This isn't Butch and Sundance. We're going to figure out what happened.
And I can help figure out what happened.
How?
I'm good at my job. Look me up. My case rate, damn near 100%.
So what, you're 2 for 2? That's mean. I'm sorry. All right. He's going to walk over to a boot print and kind of start pointing something out and be like, you see this?
Yes.
That's what we call arterial spray. Now that means, and he's going to just start explaining things to you. Outside, Jack and Kenny.
Devil is that?
It looks like a really nice knife and a really mean guy's head.
And I think he's going to look back at, Jack is going to look back at the police officer. Is the officer moving at all?
He's taken a couple of steps out into the alley and he's still kind of looking your way.
Here, I got an idea. And I think he's going to reach into his utility jacket and pull out like a keychain, just like a bottle cap keychain. So it's got a little bit of metal to it, and he's going to just chuck it over to the side and try to make as much noise as possible over towards the direction of this situation with the knife.
Hang on. So to be clear, the place that you have ducked into, the situation with the knife, that's where you are.
This isn't farther away from us? This is right here?
No, yeah. So the place you have ducked into.
Oh.
Yeah, the reason that Kenny screamed is that you pulled him into a little cove. Inside that cove is this dead body.
I think what he's gonna do is that cove that we're in hidden enough that if I turn on a flashlight that I might have on me, we can investigate this body real quick?
Reluctant under pressure.
Keep quiet.
No problem.
I'm gonna burn a luck point.
Okay, I'll allow it. So you do that thing that I think I've seen them do in Steven Seagal adjacent movies where you turn on your flashlight but you cover up the light with your hand such that it focuses a little bit more and has a lot less kind of ambient bleed.
Sure.
So here's the situation, and this is a thing that I think again you can just kind of know from because you would be looking for it. There are 4 very tiny puncture wounds in this punker's leather jacket, and you can tell that they are that one's the spleen, that one's a lung, that one's the heart, that one's the liver.
Again, very precise.
Anatomical. The knife itself is shoved into this person's open mouth, and you can see that the knife itself, the handle of it, it looks like a Renaissance knife. It's filigrees and probably inlaid with silver. This is a very expensive knife.
Right at the tang where the tang would be basically underneath the handle or whatever, that piece right above that, there's typically like an emblem or something like that of the iron worker that created it. Is there any emblem or anything like that on the blade itself?
Well, I don't know as much about knives as you do. I think to the extent that there is, the information that I want you to get is just that, like, it's not a one-of-a-kind knife.
Sure.
It's not a necessarily rare knife.
Mm-hmm.
The style of it is elegant, and the make of it is very, to the extent that the smithy or the ironworker is known to you, what they are known for is, that's the 80s, so they wouldn't be saying molecularly sharp, like very razor sharp, like
surgically sharp.
Yeah. They're known primarily for their sharpness, elegance, and high cost.
Okay. Kenny, are you getting some of this?
I'm getting all of it.
Good.
I wish I was getting less of it.
We need to get out of here.
Is your life like this all the time?
Always.
And then you hear like a, hello?
Shit. Is there any further place to hide?
Not hide, but there is, I think, here a storm drain that if you were good at it, you could climb up.
I think that's our only way out. And he points up to the storm drain. You first. Give me the camera. Get going.
So this part, he will make it up about halfway.
And I'll hoist him kind of up.
Largely due to you hoisting him. And then, I'm sorry, you're going to have to roll act under pressure.
I don't like doing that because I got 0. That would be a 2.
Okay.
Literally the worst possible fucking roll.
So you're going to shove Kenny up to the roof, and like you'll be basically doing that until he is on the roof. And he's like, oh, and doing that thing where his legs are wiggling. He's trying to get himself up, and you're like, oh my God. And then you shove both of his feet, kind of half forgetting that you need both of your hands, or at least one of them, to be on the storm drain. And you will half slide, half fall into a slump. And then this cop's flashlight will land on your face and then flash up to the guy with the dagger in his face and back down on you, and there's a gun in your face, and he's saying, don't move. Inside, Veronica, I'm going to have you roll investigate a mystery to see how much information you're going to get out of this guy.
14.
Give me your questions.
I kind of want to just like ask, like, is there any way that, like, based on the blood spatter, we can figure out, like, I mean, I kind of want to know, like, what happened here? Like, what was the killer trying to do? Like, was it literally intended to just bring death as swiftly as possible? What was it trying to do?
What your guy is going to kind of show you and tell you is that there were 3 victims, but based on the angle of some of this blood spatter, there were like 10 areas of impact. The conclusion that he's drawing is that these guys were like swirling around in this mosh pit, and someone was slashing them again and again as they moved.
Okay.
Slash here, and then they got pushed around, and then they went over here, and then something else slashed somewhere else. It's still the same 3 guys' blood, but it's coming from all these different directions. Like the killer was toying with them, was bleeding them out.
Okay.
What was the motive?
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna hate it, and I love it. One more question.
What would be the point of that? To toy with them?
We got a word for it in the business. Thrill killer.
Or a serial killer?
But.
Does it seem like it's just from one person? Is there any way you can tell, or multiple people, multiple attackers?
It's multiple attackers. They're attacking. They're using the exact same weapon.
Okay, well, that's it. Thanks, sir. Your name was?
Oh, me? The back door slams open and a uniform comes in with Jack in cuffs. And it's like, got somebody snooping. This may be our guy. The tape cuts. It cuts back. And it's once again Kenny talking right into the camera. And you can see behind him that you are all in Jack's truck, except it's like dawn. And he looks like he hasn't slept. And to the extent that any of you are in the frame, you haven't either. And he's like, so night 2 of the investigation was derailed. My father will not appreciate how, but I bailed him out and we're free to continue our investigation. This was, and then you hear like a, oh my God. Oh my God. And then the camera comes back on and points right at the radio. Can we turn this up? Can we turn this up?
Yeah.
This is my guy.
Turns it up.
And then the person talking is like a talk radio host on the radio and speaks with much more of the sort of Kent Clark voice that you all recognize from having worked for him.
This is Mark Martin. We are once again, for those just joining us, we have Kelly calling in, purporting herself as some sort of expert tipster, but your theory is not making a ton of sense to me. Can you walk me back through it? Bring me there with you. I'm just saying, these kind of attacks, they're not, think about it. Both around music, music's the only constant. The other only constant, nobody saw anybody going in or out. That first one, crude weapon, precise strikes, come on. Who else knows how to do that but a dancer? A dancer. Honestly. I'm sorry. It's not called ballet sharps, miss. They're flat. Can't do much damage. I'm not saying they used dance equipment. I'm saying they used dance expertise. I'm a teacher. I know this. I used to be a dancer myself. Until what? You were attacked? Something like that. I'm just saying, who else can move like that? Who else can decide whether they're being seen like that? Who else is this invisible and invincible? This is what they're trained for, you know. So, we should all be worried about invading hordes of go-go dancers.
Oh my God.
Okay, we need to talk to somebody who's gonna make some effing sense to me.
Oh man, Kenny's cracking up. That guy really gets me. Just the authority. I love it.
You seriously listen to this misogynist?
Well, it's not always, you gotta listen, you gotta know the.
Dani turns around and looks at Kenny. Explain it to me. Like a man.
He's got, it's the voice.
Veronica flips the camera on Kenny.
Oh, it's the voice.
A hand goes over your camera.
So if it's just the voice, Kenny, what if it was a woman?
That would be great.
What if it was, instead of Mark, maybe it was a Michelle?
I would support that.
How far are we from the destination?
Where are we going?
Was there another murder? Or
Not yet. You are now like sort of in your aftermath of trying to
gotcha. Okay.
Can we grab a coffee or some breakfast?
I have an office. I mean, it's my living room, but it's an office.
Does your office have food?
I could make toast.
And coffee?
And coffee. I've got coffee.
Do you just have toast?
I have English muffins.
Jack, there's a good IHOP around the corner. Pull over there.
Wait, was there IHOPs back then?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Or honestly, there might have been an Embers.
We're going to Embers, and then we can go to your house.
I kind of wanted to try to call somebody. So I don't know how easily we'll be able to do that from Embers because, we don't have cell phones.
There's definitely a phone you can use at the Embers.
All right, let's go get breakfast then.
You pull up, I hop out, slam the door. You guys coming?
I'm not going to be able to pay for this one.
Come on, kid.
You're still going to be able to pay us for solving this crime, though, right? Or was that a lie? Kenny?
You guys, let's go inside.
It's just
I got arrested once today. I don't need to have that happen again.
long-term money is handled, but bailing out Mr. Price sort of ate up my walking around cash.
I see.
But that doesn't exactly answer Ronnie's question here.
It's Veronica. We're not friendly enough for that.
Whatever, nerd.
Bitch.
No, it's earmarked. Don't worry. I know how to manage a budget.
You know what, Kenny? Your first coffee's on me.
So you will go in, you'll get food.
Jack, can I borrow your jacket?
Here, take my jacket. Do you want anything else?
Just borrowing it. You don't need to.
Sorry,
be a
it's
jerk.
been a long day.
Sounds like you need some coffee. She'll sling on your jacket.
Did you know where we get that coffee?
Saunter inside.
And then I think he just keeps walking in.
Like you will walk in, He'll sit down. You'll be sat at a table.
Do you have some grapefruit and sugar?
I do think sauntering in, stepping up like from the sort of communal table, slumping down. It's Mike Kennedy.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, newsman.
Oh, God.
Hey. And he'll like clap you on the shoulder, Jack, and be like,
You broke out already? Hell yeah, my man.
throw up a hand for a high five.
And I think Jack just turns and looks at him and nods. Yeah, I did.
All right, first time. Let's get this man a buttermilk 5 on me.
What can we do you for?
Oh, I was, figured you guys were on the case. And I'm like 80% sober, so I want to help.
Is there any more information that you suddenly seem to remember, sir?
I'm sorry, I don't think we met. And Dani holds out a slender hand to him and gives him her best smile.
Enchanted.
And he grabs your hand with his big meaty one and brings it in and kisses his own hand.
Call me Mr. Kennedy.
Like the president?
Yeah.
What was the expression you said earlier? Greg gagged me with a spoon.
Gag me with a spoon.
Okay, you may share information and I won't gag you with any spoons.
Does he remember anything differently now that he's 80% sober?
I think the main thing he remembers...
First of all, I said Mickey Mouse, and it's like not Mickey Mouse, because that's like 2, right? This was just the one. More like, I don't know, did Oswald have more like the... You ever read Life in Hell?
Aren't we in it?
Oh, it's funny as shit comic. You're going to love it. Anyway, it's like rabbits, but they only got one ear in the back. It's kind of like that, but it's Mickey Mouse version, but 3D.
I'm so confused.
Don't know how to deal with that Mickey Mouse ear in the back.
But just one and 3D.
Like a sphere coming out the back of this thing's head?
Yeah.
Question, because it's important. How are we sitting in a booth? Are we sitting at a table? And if so, how are we arranged?
Well, I'm technically sitting on the outside, having him slapping my arm.
Yep.
True.
Yeah, I think for sure you're at a booth.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack's on the outside getting shoved in by Mike. I would imagine Kenny being shoved in further against the wall by Jack and Mike. And then Dani and Veronica on the other side.
Would I be able to manipulate and distract Michael by having my hands across the table? Or does he have rings on his hand?
Him, no. That was Dickie.
I don't know. I was just wondering if I could kind of like maybe like flirt with him, like play, I don't know, tracing like his hands or something like with my fingers. I don't know.
Roll manipulate someone.
I want to shut up. I want to telepathically like reach into his mind.
Okay.
7. But also, have we shared all of our information yet?
I would prefer to assume that has happened off camera.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Unless there's something you want to keep to yourself.
No, like I think I would have shared that like I had found this dollar bill. Because I was wondering, because I wanted to ask, before you saw your friend Dickie die in front of your eyes, which I am so sorry. That must have been really ugly. When did you see him before that?
Oh, like all the time. He was kind of my roommate.
Well, like, I mean, like earlier that night. When was the last time you saw him before he died?
Well, we'd done a couple of shots at the bar, then hit the pit.
What are you asking? Like, so here's what I think. You will have to be more or less actively flirting with this charisma void in order to keep him distracted while you investigate a mystery and root around in his mind. I will allow that. So roll investigate a mystery.
Okay.
This might be helpful.
That's a 4.
Okay. You see exactly what he saw as he described it to you. There is he's like, you can see him in the mosh pit. You can see him throwing elbows. You can see him kicking and skanking and shoving and shouldering and pulling dudes off of other dudes and then throwing those dudes into other dudes. And then there is a small, thin Mickey Mouse with one ear on the back of its head, smiling, and on its like big bulbous gloves, at the end of all 4 of its fingers, there's these little long, thin claws. And like it's swinging around with its hands open, but then every time it like hits a guy, which is 1 to the beat every time, it too draws them all together into a single long thin blade and strikes. And it like wriggles around like a snake or like smoke, and kind of just how Veronica's coroner described it, slithers around, strikes, moves within the pit, strikes, and keeps going until it has hit all of these places that render the person unable to move, and then unable to breathe or beat blood. And then it like drops to the ground, I think turns into a big, long, slimy eel snake, still with the same Mickey Mouse ear, and slides out the back, chased by a punker with a mohawk. What the hell?
I feel like Dani kind of blinks and goes a little white. I think looks at Kenny. Your misogynist radio friend was, well, his guess was pretty right.
So you like the show?
No, I hate the show, but his guest was nice. Kelly?
What did you see? What did you find out?
Dani's gonna look at Mike. Well, I could like really read his, and like she'll like turn over his palms. Like you can see the past and the future in the lines of your palms.
He's looking at his other hand that you're not touching, and he's like,
I think I'm tripping again.
Go on, Dani. What did you learn?
Well, I want to share it, OOC, but like not in front of this dude. Like she's not really that open about her magic and stuff, her weirdness. Like the curves in the lines of your hands, you encountered something that was smooth and elegant, like a ballerina or a go-go dancer. And this spot of blood on the other side of your hand shows that you were close to the victim.
But I was at the Longhorn. They don't have go-go dancers.
No, but there are people dancing and moshing there. It's not guys who just go into mosh pits.
Yeah, and I guess we do just go, go, go.
Oh boy.
The weird thing is it like here, and like she'll like kind of gesture like down his wrist. The curves and thing kind of sort of disappears, like when you put a marshmallow in hot chocolate. It like melts away. Like
I think Veronica has the same confused look on her face as I do, and she goes, huh?
I think Kenny is like, now I really want a hot chocolate.
You know what? No, you can't do that.
What are you trying to say?
You can do whatever you like. Here's what I want to do. Someone at the well, there's not a bar here, but I do think there's TVs.
Mm-hmm.
There's one TV, and it's huge and boxy and like basically taped to the wall, like strapped in. And someone's like, hey, turn that up. Isn't that teacher chick? Nah, she used to like dance or something. And they are on the news. There's a reporter who you recognize, Veronica. It's that guy from before. Tom, and he's interviewing her, sort of man on the street. And the person that he is interviewing is like, she seems older than her years. Like she's maybe in her late 20s, but she's like, her hair is very unkempt, and she clearly is leaning on a cane.
Mm-hmm.
And I will get the word out however I can. And she looks right at the screen and she's like, this was a dancer. I know what they're capable of. I know what we can do. I know it sounds insane. But this kind of preternatural movement is something that is bred into dancers other than the kind. This is why I've made it my whole philosophy to remind people that this is supposed to be a hobby. When you build your whole life and identity around this, there was a time, okay, when trainers would sharpen their students into knives. And I said it was only a matter of time before one of those knives found somebody's heart. And they thought it was being romantic, but it wasn't being romantic. I was being the microphone is pulled away from her. Okay, so that is quite a theory. We'll go back to you, Chuck, and more on this story as it develops. And then in the background, I think you can notice that there is the sign of the building that she is standing in front of, which is the Larkson School for Dance.
Okay.
Aren't you friends with that reporter, Ronnie?
I told you it's Veronica. If you call me that again, you're gonna wish you hadn't.
Ooh.
All right, chill.
So, not really friends with the reporter, not so much, but I might have it in with her. She kind of seems like she's on the fringe of conspiracy. Kind of have some contacts there. Might be able to call some favors in. 1 second. Veronica is gonna get up and she's gonna go find a phone and try to call somebody.
So first, before I forget, Jack Price, though it was brief, your arrest will have you taking 2 fire, in addition to any you've accumulated already, which should be a couple at this point.
Yep.
Veronica, you had gotten up to try to contact somebody.
Yeah, but now I'm just kind of wondering if we should just head right to the dance thing. Because I have one of my contacts that I have is conspiracy theorists.
Well, if you want to see if there's like adjacent conspiracy theorists who maybe believe this same sort of thing, could maybe back her up. I'd allow it. Why don't you roll investigate a mystery and add 1?
Okay. 10.
Do you have any opinion on who you might be contacting?
I think it's a cousin.
Okay.
That most of the family has written off, but she has some interesting ideas. Her cousin Megan.
Okay. It rings twice, and then it picks up, and there's just like faint breathing, and then you hear a very affected,
Hello.
I'm trying to contact Megan. This is Veronica.
Oh, Veronica. Oh, gosh. Thought it was one of them, you know.
Sure. Look, I don't know if you've been seeing what's been going on the TV, but there is like some crazy stuff going on here, and there's some dance lady saying that she's convinced that the murders are related to dancers. Have you ever heard anything like that?
you hear just like and then you hear like some shuffling and some ruffling of pages.
There was a theory.
Sucks that Zoolander hasn't come out yet because it's exactly that.
The unique intersection of sport and art of something like professional dance would condition someone ideally to be at the peak of human performance, but also still be readily malleable due to their weak creative brain that could then be picked up, recruited, and imprinted upon by something like, say, a government kill squad.
Oh, okay. Kind of like sleeper agent type mentality, but for a dancer.
Yeah, I know it's bonkers, but it kind of makes sense when you think about it.
Really hate this voice. Okay, well, how would that happen though? Like somebody that if they're malleable, sure, but how do they transform into some killing machine?
Oh, that's because the way that MK Ultra.
What?
Are you not familiar with MK Ultra? It was I think an actually real military thing to try to find out whether psychotropic drugs could give soldiers psychic powers.
Ah, okay. Oh, drugs, huh? Well, that's not getting any good. Okay, thanks, Megan. Gonna go see if I can't talk to a dancer about some ladies or men. I don't know.
Oh, make sure it's not one of the crazy kind.
Oh yeah, how do you spot the crazy kind?
The eyes.
What's up with their eyes?
Oh, they're just
crazy.
Yeah, they're just crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy in the eyes.
Okay, gotcha. Kind of like you. I'll talk to you later. Veronica will head back to the table. Okay, well, cousin Megan doesn't have a ton of information, but she thinks that sometimes dancers or athletes in general, under the use of certain substances, that their minds can be a little bit malleable and they can transform into something like a super soldier, for example, or whatever the fuck this is. So, shall we go talk to a dancer?
All right, let's talk to a dancer.
Yeah, let's go.
He's gonna look to Kenny, and then you guys watching the tape in the future will see him just look straight into the lens and be like,
So you just bring this thing everywhere? Oh man, you must be rich.
off you go. It's not that far out. It's just in sort of a first ring suburb. You'll find yourselves at the Larkson School for Dance. And I think you are kind of pulling up as one of her classes is letting out, and she is walking a bunch of like probably 10-year-old girls, like, you know, coats over what's probably dance gear and their hair all up in buns, saying hi, like limping on her cane, saying hi to all their moms and telling them that they did a great job, and she hope you guys all had a lot of fun, and we'll do it again next week. That's right. Yep. And we can listen to all your favorite songs and dance along, and all right. Okay. And then she'll like shake hands with some of the moms. She'll see you pulling up, and the moms will, I think, look at you also and give you a dirty look, and then give her a dirty look. And then she sort of darkens in the face. Hi. And she'll like hobble over to all of you. Come to gawk at the dancing cane lady like everybody else?
No. We actually were trying to do some investigation. You say you think dancers are behind these murders?
Not dancers. A dancer.
Which dancer? A former pupil of yours?
I don't teach. Not like that.
Who teaches that?
Jack, roll manipulate someone. Veronica, roll help out.
Eee.
9.
Okay, that's actually good. 10.
Okay. So Jack, that's a 10. You asked who teaches that?
Yes.
The Domboise.
The who what now? The Domboise?
You. She nods up at the kid with the camera. You filming all this? Yes, ma'am. You doing some kind of project? No, ma'am. I'm the future founding member of the video division of the Daily Tuba. All right. I got something to show you. So she will bring you in to her dance studio, which looks as all dance studios tend to. Hardwood floors, bar up against a mirrored wall. Then she will lead you into her office, which looks like these offices tend to. Very bare bones, a desk with a phone and a calendar and a bunch of ledgers. And then she will lead you through another door, which will lead into a kind of dark walk-in closet. And she will reach up and pull on the light string, which will then flood the room in a kind of harsh, bare light bulb, illuminating the full-on conspiracy, crazy murder board.
Oh boy.
There's a map of the city. There's red yarn and shit. There's different colored pins. There's crime scene pictures that she was able to cut out of the newspapers.
What the hell is all this?
You could call it my penance.
For what?
For not seeing it coming then. I knew what they were like. All they cared about was excellence. I was their student, you know, until she slaps her knee with her cane. I freed up the spot, and they put their own daughter under the same kind of diamond pressure they tried to put on me. Is it any wonder? You think I'm crazy too, don't you?
Not necessarily.
What does this all lead to? Who?
You said there was a dancer. Who?
Upon a time, she was like a sister to me. Alex Domboise.
What do you know about Alex?
I know that dancing was her whole world, and I know that her parents made it her whole world. It was nothing short of torture what they did to that girl. Suppose I shouldn't say girl anymore. She's something else.
What do you mean? Where's she now?
She'll take her cane and point it at the crazy board. She's out there. And she's planning something else. I just know it. She won't stop until she's tasted the blood of everybody in this town. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know how to stop her.
Where are her parents?
Well, it's the spring, so they'll be back in France. She'd be being looked over by her twin brother here, Lawrence.
From this area?
She will tell you everything that she knows because she's on a roll now.
Sure.
And she's furious. Alex and I came up together. You know, the children's schools, the schools for the gifted, the specialty schools, finally the private tutors. Prodigies, they called us. Well, her. I was lucky. But her parents, They pushed her harder than parents should ever push anything. She was a business to them. She was a machine to just dance and dance and dance and be the best or be nothing. And I kept up with her as well as I could until I couldn't. And then she shot up like a rocket or like a nuke. But there's always a dark side to excellence, at least in her case. She was a kicked dog. That's why I do it this way. That's why I teach my girls to just love to dance. The music. It's like she would dance until her feet bled and then keep dancing. There was a darkness there.
Did she ever talk to you one-on-one? Outside of dance?
Not since we were kids. They kept her from making friends like that. It wouldn't do. It wouldn't make her better. This is her debut. She's been touring the country on this tour, and now she's here, and I think she broke. There's more information. She knows where she's staying, that there is the Donna Harkins Dance Hall, which is a building in St. Paul that has been repurposed a number of times, and now it is a sort of center for music, culture, and high society. They teach classes, they do private exhibitions, and notably, they have rooms for traveling performers to stay in while they're in the city. So whenever she's pretending to be a person, she and her brother would be there.
The only other question I have is what's with the attention to detail with the organs? I mean, she's got laser precision.
Do you know what ballet is, really?
Enlighten me.
It's honing your body like an instrument. Every piece of you is a part of the song. You have to know your instrument intimately. She struck with precision, didn't she? Not a movement wasted. That's what they do to you. A wasted movement is wasted effort, is a waste of talent. It's all a part of the song. But what song is she singing now?
Didn't she mention she was staying at a dance hall or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could try to find her there.
Then let's bring the music to her.
I think Kenny's gonna actually get in front of you, Jack, and be like, "Oh, I wasn't pointing right. Can you say that one more time? That was good."
Let's.
It's all part of the music. It's all part of the music. It's all part of the music.
We're bringing the music to her. Did you get it?
I'll get it in post.
Okay.
So you want to go to the Harkins Dance Hall? All right. It won't take you long to get there. It'll just be a quick hop on to 94.
I think as we're walking back to the pickup truck, Veronica might actually walk next to Dani. Under her breath, she'll say, "My dad called me Ronnie. He died, so nobody calls me Ronnie anymore. Okay."
A lot of us don't have parents anymore, kid. But I won't call you Ronnie.
Good. Hops in the truck.
In my cartoon fan fiction of this, Kira is outside seeing that part on the camera and goes, "Vibes."
Hey, home buddies! Thanks for joining me, my homegirl Miah, for this bitchin' one-shot episode. We just wanted to share a few quick announcements before we hop back into this gnarly mystery. First things first, we will return to our regular schedule next week with episode 21 of the Monstrous Playbook and a brand new mystery to dive into.
We also want to say thank you to all of our killer listeners for helping to spread the word about our dope show. Like leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, engaging with us on social media, or recommending our show to your dudes.
Also, I wanted to share a couple of reminders with all of you. In addition to leaving us a rating and review, there are a few other ways that you can show your support. First of all, we do have our merch store on Redbubble that if you guys want to go get yourself something nice, you get our character art on a t-shirt, sweatshirt, get it on a mug, whatever you want, our logo. There's some really awesome stuff in there. I definitely recommend the game mat. That is very cool. Secondly, as a reminder, we also have a Ko-fi page. That's K-O-F-I. If you like what we've been doing, one way to show your support is to head to our page and buy us a coffee. Any funds we receive will go towards new bonus content, equipment, and other quality of life improvements for the show. We also want to let you know that you guys, we want to talk to you. So if you're not connected with us already, please come and hang out with us. We have a Discord server where we have a really great community of people who just shoot the shit with each other on the regular, share memes, trade theories about the show, discuss the latest episodes. We recently started doing live AMAs where people can ask us questions about the latest mysteries. Sometimes Miah and I even play Overcooked. We take it very seriously. Very seriously.
But we do find time to chat with you all during it.
Yes, we do. And we also recently started doing listen parties. So if you guys ever want to just have somebody to enjoy and eat your popcorn with as you listen to our crazy podcast, that is a service that we can provide.
Not the popcorn, though.
No, not the popcorn. I'm sorry, you guys are on your own there. You can also connect with us on social media at Monster Playbook on Twitter or at Monsters Playbook on Instagram and Facebook. And lastly, you can even email us on monstersplaybook@gmail.com if you have any questions, want to reach out to us about something, or send us fan art. We love all of that stuff. We have a link to our Direct Me profile in the show notes, which has links to all of these things that I mentioned and more, so we hope you check it out.
Taking a chill pill for a moment. Our promo this week is for Free Action Cry, an actual play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition podcast. This podcast is unique in that they play in a world that they built together. Let's veg out and hear what they're all about.
What happens when you take 5 podcast aficionados and you throw them into a world of mystery and monsters? Well, you cry about it.
She's gonna kind of like walk her feet up the wall and try to push her arms out, like using her leg strength to like push against the wall to break the chains.
Realizing the predicament that he's in, he's just gonna take his hands off and slip the chains off and put them back on.
So he just slams his wrist against the shackles, and then using that little bit of pain, he phases through them.
So can I summon like a hammer and break my chains?
You could summon a hammer and break the chains off the wall.
Yes.
I would also like attention.
What you've done is you have Falcon punched this guy in the jaw, dislocated it, and set your fist and fragments of his jaw into the other one's eyes, literally killing both of them.
Roll for guilt.
I have no guilt.
I just wanted to give everyone a little bit of life.
Tendrils just come alive, and they stretch out to grab this thing. So basically, they just snatch it from 2 legs on each side away from the, I guess you can call them allies, and they just start munching on them.
Free Action Cry is the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition podcast, and you can find it on your podcatcher of choice. Come check us out.
They release episodes bi-weekly with extra content on their Patreon. You can find out more about Free Action Cry on Twitter at Free Action Cry or freeactioncry.com. And be sure to check them out wherever you listen to your podcast. All right, Lauren, let's bounce.
Bounce!
Okay, so you and fucking Mike and Kenny will all head to St. Paul to the Donna Harkins Dance Hall. And yeah, it's one of these, like, it's sort of on the outskirts of downtown. It's an ancient building, well, ancient by American standards. It's clearly like 1900s construction. I think, Veronica, you would probably know this for sure. Jack, you would probably know it as well, that like it was built to be a grocery store initially, and it was repurposed a couple of times. Mm-hmm. They still have the like fading paint of like Donner's Grocery that they keep for sentimental value because this is St. Paul and they don't tear everything down like we do in Minneapolis. So you walk up and there's a doorman dressed like a doorman from movies, like calf length, flat burgundy jacket and a jaunty little hat. And he sort of is standing outside. He's like, "Oh, can I help you?"
Yeah, we're actually here to speak to a friend of ours.
Alex.
Alex is her name.
He just sort of leans back. You get the vague sense he's listening to something. He goes, "I'm afraid Miss D'Amboise is not expecting any visitors. Can I ask as to the nature of your call?"
We're here to help.
I want Veronica Mitchell to roll Jessica Jones' entry.
10.
Pick 3 from the list.
You find what you wanted. You don't piss anyone off, and you find something else that's important. I don't know.
Okay, so you're kind of, I'm going to say that you're sort of using the information that you've gleaned so far about Alex to be like sort of equivocating and not really lying about who you are and how you know her and what you're concerned about and how you know how sort of reclusive she's been. And you're just worried. And, we came up together. I know her from before, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of just barrel your way in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think everyone kind of trying to keep everything nice because there's definitely a private exhibition going on in one of the front rooms. Doesn't make a big scene about it, but does kind of accompany you up to the room that is temporarily labeled D'Amboise Twins. And you bust in, and there is like a young man just sitting at the sort of vanity, applying his face, like doing the sort of painted on beauty mark type stuff. And he kind of sees you and he's like, oh.
Is your name Alex?
Hello?
Alex is a girl, right?
Oh, wait.
I do think you say that, though, Jack Price, because I love it. Oh, no, my dear boy. I am Laurent. I am the brother. You are here for autograph? I am afraid we are not here on publicity. This is our private time, you see.
Well, we wanted to talk to your sister. Big fans.
That means I am doing my job.
And longtime friends.
I find that unlikely. You are not here for... I am afraid Alex has training to attend to. Is there any... And he like claps his hands and stands up and walks over to a drawer and pulls it open and yanks out a stack of what appear to be thick papers, grabs a Sharpie and he's like, it will not matter that it is not the real thing. We share the DNA, And he like scribbles something on one of them and hands you, Jack, an autographed 8x10 photo of Alex D'Amboise in what is clearly Swan Lake doing an iconic ballet pose, and gives you this autographed picture, assuming this is what you want.
Looking at the photo, I guess, what do we see of Alex?
She does seem a bit tall for a ballerina.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, she is... I guess slight probably isn't the right word. I would say narrow with rubber band taut muscles. Compact. The thing that you get from the pose specifically is, it's like Kelly said, every muscle is in place perfectly, up to and including the muscles in her face. But I think you notice this, Jack, that like her eyes do seem like you can tell that what's happening in the pose, because of its sort of expert display, you can tell what's happening in this scene. That this is a pose of lament. She is supposed to be quite sad. And when you see her eyes in the photo, they are empty, dead. Her face, mouth, eyebrows, cheeks, shoulders somehow all communicate this deep well of sadness. But in her eyes, there's nothing.
I think he looks up to... How did you say his name?
Lawrence.
What inspires Alex to do what she does?
What inspires the sun to rise in the morning? What inspires the tide to come in and out? Excellence is in her nature. It is what we were born for.
And what are your thoughts on what they're saying in the news, that this might have some sort of connection, all of this weird murders, to a dancer? You guys wouldn't know anything about that. Nobody in your troop, I hope. She wants to roll just one more thing.
Roll it.
7.
Okay, pick one.
I think I'd spend the hold to ask, did you commit this specific crime?
Okay. No, my dear. Laurent would not hurt a fly. Now then, it is good my sister is not here, because this is exactly the kind of distraction I have come with her to defend her against. If there is nothing else, Kenny is going to say, why aren't your parents here to help out and keep an eye on, well, I guess the two of you? And Lawrence will turn very slowly and look very darkly at Kenny's camera and go, our parents are at home en France. And Kenny's going to look around at all of you like,
Surely they support you in your activities.
Of course. My sister's success is all that mattered to them.
What about your success?
This is my success.
When he says this, is he just talking about like his sister's success or?
Yes.
Okay.
They could not provide her what she needed.
But you can?
And I have. Have you seen her show You Simply Must?
Well, we'd love to go, but when's the next performance?
Oh, I am very sorry. It will probably be a bit out of your price range. You are a bit de Nîmes, si vous quoi.
And you're a bit of a dick. That's English for dick.
I do not like rude people.
When Lawrence is distracted by being offended, can Dani look around the room with the sight?
Read about situation.
Also, for the insight, it would be you can see invisible things, especially spirits and magical influences. You may communicate with the spirits you see, and they give you more opportunity to spot clues when you investigate a mystery.
Okay.
Yup. Okay. Yup. The room you are in is a well-appointed bedroom, dual queen-size beds, 4-post, the works, and an armoire in one corner, a sort of dressing table in another, and a pair of large dressers. Above one of the dressers, Dani, you can see, observing mournfully, the ghosts of a couple in their 50s who have, you know, features quite similar to Lance and Alex. And they, I think, seeing you see them, they look at you and you can see that, like, down their sort of spirit faces are just this, like, sliced rivers of tears. What did you roll for read about situation?
Oh, it didn't. Do you want me to?
Well, that's what you see with the sight. You can see them, and you can act on that information.
I think that Dani is standing the most far away from Lawrence, but I think that she's going to say to Lawrence, my parents are dead too.
Roll manipulate someone.
What do you mean dead? You just said they were in France.
I'm going to use a luck point.
Okay.
Yeah, that was double ones.
Okay, so that was my parents are dead too. I think, like, his eyes will, like, flash as though this sort of veneer has been punctured for just a moment. What is your intention? What are you trying to do here?
I think catch him off guard, shake him. I think Dani's gonna point to the ghost couple and say, you see, I'm also a performer. I don't always perform in the mystic sense, but they're here. They're not in France.
Are you telling me that this guy lied to us? I don't like liars.
Now. Let the man speak. Did you lie to us?
You must have...
Oh, this night could get a lot worse for you.
Oh, boy. Should I turn off the camera? No, man, keep it running.
No, man, this is good stuff.
Yeah, man, if you don't make it as a reporter, I can sell this shit.
I think he's going to drop to his knees and be like, you don't understand the way they treated her. It was always going to be this way. I intervened where I could, but it was not enough. I had to. But now it has been days. And she is out there, alone.
Listen.
En rampage.
You are the only one that knows her to the degree that you do. How do we stop this?
I think he's going to slump and be like, c'est la musique. Le ballet. She can no longer stand it. It reminds her of all of this. The torture her parents put her through. The life of pain, of dancing upon the these bleeding feet.
She wants the music to stop.
Ballet music.
Oui, ma sœur, pardonnez-moi. I think you will hear, I will go ahead and say from another room, the news, on which someone is being interviewed.
A spate of murders has rocked the Minneapolis music and dance scene, but one club owner says he won't be cowed. First Avenue's new general manager Steve McClellan says that this will be the downtown danceteria for decades to come. Here he is giving a press conference in front of the now iconic former Depot. The only blood on our dance floor is going to be the blood, sweat, and tears of our many talented musicians and DJs. We have state-of-the-art cameras, state-of-the-art security. No one's getting in here without a ticket. No one's getting in here with any kind of weapon. And no one is going to get hurt on my watch. That's a First Avenue promise.
We're going to do all three.
So come on down to First Avenue. We are having the dance night of a lifetime and a surprise guest you are not going to want to miss.
So what's the plan?
Will you help us?
I have helped you all I can. I can betray my sister. No more.
I have a question. Okay, so is she still like a person? Or has she been transformed into something else?
I was going to say, I feel like monster vibes / just, I don't know.
It really feels really shitty.
I don't know how you'd know that.
I mean, I guess we would head towards that nightclub because it seems like that's going to be the next spot for folks. If everywhere else is kind of essentially shut down, that kind of seems like it makes sense.
Hell yeah, man. Blood for blood.
We should get something, though. Can Veronica look around? Is there any, music devices here, with a has ballet, any ballet cassettes or...
Records
into the 80s? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly a number of them, some that they maybe have brought with them, but certainly some that are the house library of this dance building.
Okay. I think Veronica might go over to the record player and kind of look at the record that's in there. Mind if we take this with us?
He'll barely even look up. I think he's broken.
I think Jack is going to walk over. Do you mind? I put my hand on his back. You did the right thing. You're looking after her. It's what you need to do.
It is all I have ever done. It is the only thing I know. And he just kind of sits there on his knees, slumped down.
I think Jack gets up, and as he walks out, he's just and deep down, I'm sure she knows you're doing everything you can to support her. Let's go, guys.
As you leave, you will hear him just sob and whimper. And off you go. So you are headed to First Avenue, your downtown danceteria, since about 2 years ago. What is your plan?
Well, I haven't used my assault rifle yet, so...
Here's what I think you, Jack, will know, or honestly, maybe even be sort of insisting on looking up. Yeah, who would probably know is Mike, and he's helping you draw out a map.
A battle plan?
A battle plan. So First Avenue, so on the main floor, there's the main sort of dancing pit. And the stage, which will be, it being a dance night, no one will be on the stage. And then it's surrounded by a trio of sort of step up areas at which there's a bar. So functionally, there will be a cluster of people on the dance floor, a cluster of people at each of those 3 bars. Then there is a second floor, which has another 3 clusters, a north bar, a west bar, and an east bar. The west side of the second floor, there's the toilets. And on the east side of the first floor, there's the entry, which is another smaller venue where there will be probably another more rock focused DJ night. So that's what you know. And you can know that on the north end of the second floor, there are basically floor to ceiling windows. On the north end of the first floor is the way in where there's all the ticket takers and bouncers and such. There is also the talent entrance, and there's the entry entrance on the west and east sides respectively.
Well, there's a lot of space to cover. How do we want to split this up?
Well, I could maybe call in a favor. I have some contacts. Maybe they could provide a distraction while we sneak in elsewhere.
I think Jack swings his head over at you. What kind of contacts? What can they do?
Well, I know some folks in the occult business.
Can they watch the doors? Or I guess like what can they bring to the table?
I mean, I'd have to ask, but I'm sure they've got something up their sleeve.
You trust them?
No. But they're reliable. They'll get the job done.
What's the cost?
I'll owe them something later.
You good with that?
Yeah, that's how this works. That's how I do my job. All right, where's the payphone?
Across the street from First Ave. You want to call him up?
Yeah, I'm going to try to call my occult contacts.
Can you be more specific? If you don't have anything you're thinking, I have an idea.
I would love to hear what your idea is.
You dial your phone number,
Mm-hmm.
and on the other end of this tape, Kira, you hear a young man answers the phone and says,
"This is Donovan."
Ah! Okay, Kira in the flash forward. Kira's like, what the fuck? Hey, Donovan, I could really use a favor. I'm sure you've been hearing about these like murders that have been happening at the nightclubs.
It isn't us.
Yeah, I'm aware. It's a dancer, apparently. What I could really use is a distraction so that we can sneak into a building. I figured maybe somebody in your group could help out with that.
Dancer, that tracks. I can send someone. Are you thinking like draw people out?
We just need eyes away.
Eyes?
We just need eyes away from an entrance. We just need to sneak in unnoticed, and we could really use some assistance with that.
he will tell you to go to the talent entrance towards the southeast of the building, and you'll know it when you see it.
Okay.
So you go there, you wait there, the sun sort of starts to go down, and first you hear a sort of clamoring of, like, you're downtown Minneapolis in like the evening on a Friday.
Great.
It's packed in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
People are just walking around with their denim jackets and cool hair. And suddenly all of them are murmuring something and everyone's running to the front entrance of First Avenue. Those of you who can kind of see around the corner, there is like a hovering a story off the ground. Well, it's either an angel or a demon person, some kind of winged something who then starts to glow extremely brightly, and everyone outside and likely inside is staring at it.
All right, I think that's our distraction, people. Let's go.
So you all slip inside. And yeah, as you walk inside, there is no security because everyone with a First Avenue t-shirt is pressed up against the door trying to see what everybody's staring at.
Mm-hmm.
The music, I think, has even like been turned down or seems to have been. And as you sort of file in, the light dims and vanishes and everyone's like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And gradually the music starts turning back up. What's the move?
Does Jack have walkies in the back of his...
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. So I think he would have handed those out to everybody. I think he has them in like little like pouches or whatever that you can just sling over your arm or whatever. Take these. Call if you have any or if you see anything.
Aye, aye.
Get to a vantage point. Hold that position.
I'm going to try to find a booth or something, somewhere where we can play music. Yeah, Veronica wants to try to scope out like where there would be a record player.
Dani, you good?
Yeah. I'm just gonna post out at a bar and get myself a drink.
Do you got any tricks up your sleeve?
She pulls out her 9mm.
All right.
Hell yeah. I'm with her.
You do that.
Come on, Kennedy. Buy a girl a drink.
All right, Kenny's going to go with Veronica. And Veronica, roll a read about situation. And Dani, you are going to have to flag quite aggressively this bartender who is still trying to crane his neck to look out the window and see whatever everybody else was looking at. Veronica.
I rolled a 11.
Okay, sick. Dani.
I'm just going to whistle really loudly to get their attention.
Whoa. Okay. I'm sorry, did you see that?
See what?
I don't know, something outside. What's everybody's deal?
Huh.
What's everybody's like major damage?
I mean, I see two really thirsty people.
Haha. We're going to get you.
What's the best that you got?
Kennedy slams $2 bills on the bar and just says, hams. Well, I mean, takes the $2 and looks at you, Dani. You could do worse. Otherwise, we got, vodka.
Dani will pull out the $20 bill that had the lipstick on it and put that on the bar.
He's going to pick it up, look at it, look at you, and be like, you had different hair last time you gave me one of these.
This is the first time seeing you, big fella. Where was I earlier?
I must have you confused with somebody else. Let me get you something nice.
You know what? You probably saw my sister.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He squints at you. I guess I can see it.
We got caught up in whatever everybody is looking at. Did you say which way she went? We were supposed to meet at the bathroom, but...
Roll manipulate someone.
11.
All right. Yeah, she was headed up to the second floor, East Bar. Said they would have had something more her taste up there. Though I hope he slides the drink across to you, a little less discerning.
What kind of drink is this?
I think it's a vodka cranberry.
Okay. Dani's going to down it.
Sick.
Thanks. And then arm hooks Kennedy.
Okay.
Pulls her along to the upstairs.
Glues the can of hams to his face as he follows you.
Dani's going to over the radio.
All right.
You got something?
Ballerina's somewhere up on the second floor. Me and Kennedy are headed there now to check it out.
Roger that. Ballerina in the crow nest.
Over.
You don't have to go. It automatically does that.
Got it.
Dani turns her radio off. Fucking nerds.
Don't worry about it. I got mine.
So Veronica.
Yeah.
You are aware that sort of like on the second floor, there is a like kind of rectangular area with tinted windows. Mm-hmm. That's likely where the DJ is spinning.
Sorry, can I recount what Kennedy and I are doing?
What are you doing?
So I think all that stuff still sort of happens, but instead of going to the second floor, I think that I want to pose maybe as a potential target with Kennedy dancing on the dance floor.
I'm into that. Okay, I'm good with that.
Hopefully Kennedy has some good moves. Besides moshing.
He's got plot armor. He survived somehow.
So, Veronica, you are aware of where the record player would be. Jack, what are you doing?
I think Jack is in the kind of balcony around the top, and he's just kind of scoping out the venue, making sure that there are no ballet dancers on the floor.
Roll read a bad situation.
7.
I think what that means is, Dani?
Yeah.
I want you to do this dance with Kennedy.
Yeah.
Like a magic trick, which means I want you to roll plus weird.
12.
Nice. So you like down your drink, grab Mike Kennedy, throw off the borrowed jacket from Jack Price, and catch all the lights of the rotating disco balls.
Oh yeah,
and the
I have that
around
bedazzled blazer.
The sparkly blazer. And as the music turns up, Mike Kennedy cannot believe how he is moving because he is not doing it. You are. If he was to actively try to stop this, he would and could because you don't have access to that kind of impose your will on somebody magic.
Yeah.
But what you are functionally doing is a kind of tactile telekinesis. Mm-hmm. And he's like, all right, because he's a little toasted still. He goes a little limp. And you guys are tearing it up. Jack, you see the beginnings of some kind of scuffle upstairs, and then you see a bunch of people from the East Bar peeking over the balcony at something that's happening in the central dance floor. Huh? And then you look yourself and you can see Dani in her sparkly jacket, flourishing with her top hat, and twirling a husky metalhead like Fred and Ginger.
I told those guys to keep a low profile.
Whoops.
Veronica, tell me what you are doing.
I'm kind of keeping an eye out to see if there's any, like, movement of any creatures, anybody out there? Any threats I haven't noticed? Perhaps.
You roll read a bad situation.
12.
Okay. You and Jack notice someone pull up and look over the balcony, and this person stands out because instead of being dressed very hip, they are dressed like sort of like they're there to exercise. And instead of having hair that's very teased up like almost everybody's is or crimped, her hair is pulled up to the top of her head in a tight bun.
Like a ballerinas.
Like half a Mickey Mouse.
Thank you.
Oh my god. And as this all transitions into a fight scene, we hear, "Hey Mickey, you're so fine, you're so fine." Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. You guys are dancing and you are doing, I think you're not like tango, like joined dancing anymore. You're like kind of face off, sort of doing some choreography now. And the young woman with the bun in her hair sees you doing this and screams in rage and hurls herself over the balcony.
Code red, code red, code red.
I was gonna say, I think as soon as she lands, Veronica will be like, "Fuck, record player, record player, record player," and we'll try to like figure that so that she can have it ready to play.
It will take you some time to actually get up and in there, first of all.
I thought I was like already there.
Roll act under pressure.
7.
I think you are like getting up to the booth where the DJs are and you're like pounding on the door and there is no response for a while. Jack, you see this person jump over and like, because it's 1982 and parkour hasn't been a thing yet, you've never seen anybody move like this. She jumps over this like she's diving into water. She lands and just like curls into a ball and just sort of accepts all the momentum and pushes herself forward until she's like in that 3-point stance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Superhero landing.
Superhero landing. And she is facing off with Dani and Mike.
Am I near a fuse box upstairs, potentially?
In order to get to something like a fuse box, I think you will have to access and climb a maintenance ladder and basically get up into the rafters.
Real quick, is she bearing any weapons right now?
In her hand that is reached out behind her, she has another one of those extremely expensive looking, extremely sharp daggers.
I think we need to keep her engaged until I can hopefully turn on the music.
Oh, I can do that. Would I be able to roll Jinx?
You can always roll Jinx.
10.
Hold 2.
So I want to give Jack +1 forward, and then I want to interfere with what the monster is trying to do.
Okay.
I think Jack is going to, instead of running to a fuse box, he's just gonna hoof it over the edge of this balcony and try and gracefully land. Is she like right underneath the railing?
No, she's sort of rolled into the center of the main dance floor.
Yeah, I think he's gonna position himself in such a way that he's behind her to just distract, so she flips around.
So you want to jump down and be behind her. Roll act under pressure.
Does he get a +1 with that? Since
if he gets a +1 to do whatever he does because of you. So add whatever you're adding, which is 0, and then add 1.
8, so 9.
Okay. Jack, you jump down from the second story. You land weird on one of your legs. You have at the very least twisted your left ankle. You can attack, you can shoot, moving in any direction or with any degree of precision. It's going to be tough for you.
I think I am going to, before I use assault rifle, want to dance? Let's dance. And then I think he's going to run and just try to get her attention to follow. And there's going to be me trying to jump and slide over like the bar and just like create obstacles for her to go after. I'm trying to distract her to make her follow me, so you guys have time to think.
Like I said, running in any capacity is going to be hard for you right now. So roll act under pressure and subtract 1.
7.
Okay.
So I think what he's going to do is he's going to run to a bar, slide over the bar, go into the bar, and hoping that she follows.
Sweetheart, you have a sprained ankle.
Yeah. So you limp up to this bar.
You're not running, honey.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear I sprained my ankle. Great. All right, never mind.
Well, here's what happens. Jack huffs himself over to this bar, humps up onto it, and he's like, hey, you bitch. And then you
Buddy.
collapse down behind this bar, landing hard on one of your shoulders.
No, you have a sprained shoulder.
I was going to say, as I'm falling out, can I go into this hole with my rifle swung up?
Sure. I think the rest of you see Alex. She follows Jack with her eyes and sees him drop out of sight and then tilts her head sort of in a serpentine kind of way, and then turns back to Dani and Mike.
Okay. I want to I don't know what Mike and I are right now necessarily, but I do want to squeeze his hand and would you get a drink and take some cover for me?
It's all I ever want to do.
And then he's gonna kind of wiggle his arms oh, I can move him again.
Okay, bye.
And spin around and just waddle away as fast as his little legs can carry him.
I think I'm gonna turn to Alex and tell her sorry, I'm a better dance partner, and just kind of sort of start moving around her. I'm kind of wondering if I could use magic.
Okay, to do what?
I want to do something that's beyond human limitation.
For example?
Create multiple duplicates of myself.
I was hoping you would say that. Roll use magic.
6.
Oh no.
So.
Wait, no. 7. Sorry.
Pick a glitch.
I'm going to take 1 harm because I think I've done this in the past, but I've only done it with 1. Whereas this one, I'm trying to create 5 more of myself.
All right. So you do that and you are surrounding her with your flashy red coat. And she is screaming in almost feral fury. And you are, for the most part, either dancing your way out of reach of her daggers or they are going through things that are not properly you. Veronica, you are smacking on the window of the DJ booth.
Open up the fucking door!
Roll manipulate someone.
Does she get a +1? Because I don't think she ever used her interfering with their enemy from my jinx.
Okay.
So then 7.
Congraturitos.
Yeah.
So the door will open and it'll be someone who's it just looks like a dumpy dude. And he's just it's kind of a big night where it's the whole thing about security. We're not doing autographs or...
Yeah. No, but I got this. This is the latest hit. You gotta play it. It's really good. I'm telling you.
This is Northrop Auditorium music.
Okay, can you just take a look out on the dance floor for me for a second? What do you see right now?
A spectacle?
What you see is the person who will kill someone, has been happening the last couple nights, unless we interfere. And I'm telling you right now, I can help if we play this.
Dani, I need you to roll act under pressure.
8.
Okay. So one of these wild flings from her dagger is going to get you. You will dodge out of the way before it can properly do damage to you, but you will be immediately unstable.
Whoa, okay. This was expensive.
A very thin part of your shirt and chest just is sliced open and starts bleeding profusely.
Okay, but it doesn't mean I'm dying. It just means I'm unstable.
That's right. And it means as time goes on, unless you are healed, you will gradually take harm. Jack, you see that happen, and I think all of these different copies of Dani, the white vest underneath begins to basically grow a deep crimson, and you know that some damage was done. You also know, I think, you have a pretty fucking clear shot.
How many fire do I gain from that?
1.
Just 1? All right.
Every time a friend is hurt, mark 1 fire.
But there's 5 of them. Okay.
Easy.
I think he's going to just kind of brush all the beer glasses aside or whatever, set up his gun. This one's for Dani.
I will, for the record, consider this to be military gear.
Yes.
We'll kick some ass.
10 plus.
So you can spend 2 fire to make that a screw it advanced move.
Well,
and what are you shooting
wait,
with?
I got a 9. Becomes a 10.
Oh, if you spend, you got a 9. If you spend
10 plus or 10 plus become. Oh, I see.
Yeah, so your 7 to 9 becomes a 10 plus if you spend the fire.
Yes, and I will spend the fire.
Okay, so that is a 10. What perk do you want to do? Force it where you want it. Do more harm, take less harm.
Do more harm.
I figured. And you are shooting with your...
With my Bat-Hurt Assault Rifle, which does 3 harm, close, far, area loud.
So, a whispered, this is for Dani, and then a...
I feel like all the Danis just dropped to the floor.
Honestly, probably. And like precisely 2 bullets will strike Alex in the back, and then she'll just very elegantly like flip forward and sort of flop down herself in honestly a not unserpentine kind of move. So you got some damage in, but not all, I will tell you.
Yeah, I think he cocks back the rifle.
You see her rise up just enough and spin around almost impossibly to look right at you, Jack, and you see her face distorted into a mask of fury and the same dead eyes just looking at you like a snake, honestly.
I think he just raises his eyebrows and more?
She will, I think, with an odd sort of animal grace, start running at you on all fours.
Horror movie. I think he's gonna just drop the magazine, throw another one in, cock it back, and
jinx.
Oh, sorry, Dani. Did that mean you wanted to spend a hold, or you wanted to roll it again?
Well, I've already used up my 2 holds, so I would roll it again.
Okay, roll it again.
8.
Okay, pick one.
Inflict 1 harm on the target due to an accident.
Awesome.
I think that a couple, like, Dani reaches her hands out and, like, pulls several of the bar chairs at her.
So you will grab and pull some bar chairs at her. They will slam into her shins, but she will, like, roll into it and, like, make her shoulders into a kind of wheel and come back up with leonine grace.
For real?
Jack, roll kick some ass one more time.
Oh, you know I'm gonna burn that luck point.
All right. Do more harm or take less harm?
Do more harm.
Okay. So you take your shot. You see something flick out of her hand, and this thin, elegant dagger buries itself just above your heart and immediately starts spurting blood. You take 2 harm, and you are unstable.
Damn.
Veronica. The guy you were talking to now can't take his eyes off of the fucking assault rifle and throwing knives match that's going on his dance floor.
Is the door just locked?
He has cracked it open a bit. You could pry your way in.
She's gonna just bust through. Excuse me!
What is ever going on anywhere?
Pay attention! And she's gonna take the record and she's gonna fucking pick up the little piece, put it down, put the thing down on the thing so that it starts playing.
Roll act under pressure.
Veronica's gonna use a luck point because she rolled a 4.
All right. So Veronica picks up the thing, moves the thing, puts down the thing, and is like, wait, that's not the thing that's supposed to go to the thing. Is
The
this
thing, the needle.
I got it. Puts it down, pushes the button, and like at first you like have it on the wrong, you know how record players have like 2 speeds?
Mm-hmm.
You have it on like 45 speed, and it's like
Satan.
and you're like, no, junk. And then some like super stately classic ass ballet music starts to play. The first thing you can hear is just about everybody else in the bar who isn't terrified by the battle going on goes, aww. The second thing you can all hear is this animal scream of pain and fury.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she, like, Dani, you see her dive like with abandon over the bar behind which Jack is barricaded.
I would run after her. We would run after her because there's 6 of us.
Oh, I see. All the Danis. So yeah, Jack, she's gonna like almost land on you, and like she'll land down here with the same clumsiness you did, and she's gonna be pawing for the dagger that's stuck in your shoulder.
As she's coming over, can I take a shot?
Now that she's right in front of you, you can take a shot.
I think Veronica from upstairs is like, okay, great, just keep that playing until I say so, okay?
This is the weirdest fucking dance night.
And she's gonna start running downstairs to help out.
Hey, Jack.
Okay, so I did miss, but I mean, technically I'm using military gear, which makes it a 7.
That's true.
7 to 9. And I spend 2 fire. Then I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so -2.
Yep, you had plenty.
I got plenty. I'm gonna take a shot.
Did you also make sure to mark one when you got stabbed this time? So you might have 6.
No, I didn't. I have 6 now.
Well, now you have 4. So you take a shot. It's 7 to 9. That means you do you, she does her. I think what that means is she'll pull it out and you'll just like point blank hit her with the pistol, which means
that means 2 harm.
Yeah, that's a gut shot basically. She's not doing great, but she will like pull it out. Her eyes are insane. Her hair is starting to come out of the bun, and she is going to bury the knife back in you one more time and pull it back out.
Can I protect someone?
Another 2 harm. You can roll it and tell me how you're going to protect him.
I was gonna try and grab her and pull her off.
Then that you won't be able to stop that harm from happening, but you could try to do that.
Shit.
Dani, you said 2 swear words right in a row.
I did. It means I did awesome. I rolled a 1, but I leveled up.
So you go to grab her off of Jack, and instead she grabs you by your fancy sparkly coat, yanks you behind the bar, puts you between Jack and herself, and instead of like holding the knife up to your throat as a threat, she just buries it in your chest and like holds you in front of her with an arm around your throat and a knife in your body. You take 2 harm, and also another 1 because you're bleeding.
Okay.
Veronica from upstairs is like, I'm coming.
And Jack, you also take an additional harm from your bleeding, which should put you at 5.
Yep, I'm at 5 right now.
Yep, you sure are. Veronica, you are rushing downstairs just as fast as you can.
Yeah, she arrives downstairs, and I'm kind of getting the vibe that there's not really any way to get through to her. So I think she's just kind of like, I think she's gonna call out, and she's gonna be like, Alex!
What is your intention here?
Well, I want her first to look at me and not my friends who are gravely hurt.
So what she's gonna do is like pull herself and Dani back against the back of the bar such that she doesn't have her back to either of you, and it's like to her right side is Jack and Dani, and to her left, to her right side is Jack, pinned to her with the blade is Dani, and to her left is Veronica.
Let her go.
Make it stop.
Let her go.
Stop the music.
Let her go, or I'll kill you. And then she's gonna shoot her in the fucking like abdomen or something.
Roll kick some ass. Do not miss.
I didn't. It's an 11.
Holy shit.
It's with my magnum. It's 3 harm.
Dani, you feel like someone has punched you in the back, and what they've punched you in the back with is like a huge, warm, soggy pumpkin that just explodes all over you and like drools disgustingly down your back. And then this thing that is holding on to you, the arm around your neck and shoulders goes slack, and the hand holding on to the knife buried in your chest gradually lets go and sinks to the ground. And you sort of get free, and you can see as the life is draining from her eyes and face, she's just like, the music never stops. It could never. I could never stop.
Veronica holsters her gun, walks over to you guys.
And everybody screams and runs panicking and clamors to get the hell out of the First Avenue. Except for Mike Kennedy, who actually comes up to you guys with an armful of cans of hams. And he comes over with his arms full of beer and he's like, whoa, you guys look like shit.
My leg.
I feel like shit.
Veronica's gonna go over to the bartender and be like, Jackie, give me some rags.
Oh, that's going to happen. Yeah, she's going to sort of spring into action because, yeah, this one knows her shit. And it's going to give you a bunch of them. It's going to soak a bunch of hers and a bunch of yours in like vodka or Everclear.
Yep.
And you're just going to make little makeshift poultices. I think you are going to hear the approach of sirens.
Mm-hmm.
So I told you there's nobody. I told you there was nobody on the stage, but the way that you could like on a DJ night at First Avenue, the stage would just have the curtains drawn. The curtains part, and like there's a good deal of artificial fog behind them, and moving and twirling lights cast a kind of illuminated purple, and there is a huge band, drums, keyboards, multiple guitars, and onto the stage walks Prince.
What?
And he just looks out at what happens and he's like, seems like y'all could use some groove, and just launches it. And the camera is sort of looking over all of you who are like holding various injuries with vodka-soaked rags and looking around at yourselves in a checkerboard floored dance club with the people running around frantically. No one's on the dance floor. Prince and the Revolution just giving it their all, and you're like, what just happened to us today? And the camera flips around and you see Kenny Schreiber be like, this is Kenny Schreiber, aspiring reporter and future founding member of the video division of the Daily Tuba, signing off. Executive producer Jonny Grubb. I do want to like brag about how interesting this mystery was to run. And maybe this is like a normal thing for one shots in Monster of the Week. I should say this is the second Monster of the Week module, so to speak, that I've ever used ever. And as someone who's come into this whole hobby from D&D and seeing D&D modules where it's like, they'll do this, then they'll do this, then they'll do this. Mm-hmm. What's fascinating about the way this is written and the way Luke Green has written it is that it just tells you what's out there. Mm-hmm. It's like, here's the world. Here's kind of what's going on.
Yep.
Have at it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really interesting. I put you where I wanted to put you. I filled in the blanks I wanted to fill in. I localized the things I wanted to localize. But otherwise, the mystery itself just is the mystery. And then the other thing that I want to brag about here is that if we had done this in the flow of our normal season, instead of popping in here from the future as we are, instead of giving your characters the experience you would have gained as these characters, there's really interesting other rewards that, like, maybe by watching this, you've gained a new perspective, which would give you a +1 forward to read about a situation if you are scanning large and active crowds like you've been doing through this mystery, if you're examining security measures, if you're dealing with attitudes of high society like you may have interacted with in this mystery.
Mm-hmm.
You may have acquired a possession of the killers throughout this that has some kind of odd traits, a music box that can enthrall a monster, a blade, her blade that allows you to inflict a deep bleeding wound. That was one of her monster moves, was she has this kind of blade and this way of using it that can just make you be unstable.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it was lucky that it didn't come to this. Another thing she can do is just on a whim kill a bystander. If there's someone who's not one of you who she has in her grasp, she can just go and that person is dead.
Jeez.
So these potential rewards that are interesting beyond just being more experience to spend, I'm a huge fan. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Thrythlind Books and Games. Thank you, Luke Green, for this one shot. I look forward to using lots more of your content in the future, especially some of the custom Hunter's playbooks. Yeah, there's another one shot that I hope Miah is still planning on playing, that I am excited to play as a very specific kind of hunter that you will see in the future. Yep. Thanks for joining us on Off the Books. What was everybody's least favorite part? This has been the Monsters Playbook, featuring
John Wander as Mark Clayton and Jack Price,
Lauren Johnson as Kira Ashwood and Veronica Mitchell,
Miah Detjen as Casey Davis and Dani Clefton,
and Jonny Grubb as literally everybody else. Our theme song is by me, Jonny Grubb. The Monsters Playbook is produced and engineered by Miah Detjen and edited by Miah Detjen and Lauren Johnson. If you liked this episode, please tell a friend. We love friends. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Monsters Playbook, and on Twitter at Monster Playbook, and on Web 1.0 at monstersplaybook.com. And come hang out with us on Discord. We're fun. We'll see you next episode where, as always, I'll have some good news and some bad news. Thanks for listening. The music. She's come to hate it. She's come to hate it. She doesn't like the music. I lost my accent.
No. Keep this going. I love it.
I have only been pretending to be French.
Sweetest little boy. I want to go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
The monster must be stopped, yeah?
My name is Augustus Gloop.
Hello? Is this where we stop the monster?
Oh my god.
I would like to use the weakness of the monster.